Um, so, last time on Icewind Dale, Rime and the Frostmaiden, we found ourselves coming back together right after the fight with your sister Ear, Kara, against your sisters Rhoda and Sangrithar, where essentially you guys got a chance to talk to a god, or at least talk to one through another person. Kara's goddess Freya had finally been able to reconnect with her and, of course, her sister Ear once the battle was finished. And so she kind of took and used Ear as a mouthpiece to communicate with you guys. There was actually not much asked. Most of you were pretty shell-shocked by the situation to begin with. But Kara was at least given a couple pieces of information, such as her memories will likely return over time, and things are just kind of how they are at this point, and she's just got to continue the mission as is. After that, for the most part, Freya kind of let you guys go, letting you know that she was going to go figure out exactly what it was Loki had planned, which, gave Kara a nice little tingle in her heart that at least he was going to get his just desserts. And with that, the Virtuoso kind of walked over after Freya departed and basically said to the sisters, hey, it's not very often I get two Valkyries around. And Kara, you did have that incident where, you were singing with me and you got your memories back. And she was like, yeah, that did happen. And so he kind of goaded the two into potentially doing just that, singing with him once again. And the sisters did pretty readily join him, in which you guys got treated to another song from Kara. With this, she was able to kind of remember one of the key facets of kind of her power set, which is her ability to choose Einherjar, and kind of the fact that that is what you guys are to her. Not necessarily that any of you know what that means, but she has much more of an understanding of that now. After that, Ear kind of bid her goodbyes to Kara, finally getting to hug her, and the Virtuoso played her off with a special song of his own. And with that, you guys kind of turned and headed back to East Haven. Once there, you basically found your friend Dimple waiting, kind of wondering where the Virtuoso had gone off to. They disappeared back upstairs, and you guys all went to bed. And you all kind of reconvened the next morning, only to find, basically you were met with a conundrum. You could go back, westward through the 10 towns up to your next destination with, Dimple and the Virtuoso, that destination being the Ruslan Village. Or you could kind of go up the east side of the 10 towns to the two that you had never really visited and see what had happened there, what with the dragon attack and all that. Ultimately, after a good bit of discussion, you guys did decide to do the latter and continue up that eastern side. So with that, you gathered your dog sleds, gathered your new companions, and headed off. Initially, you of course started with Caer Dinevel, I believe. Just check in. Yep, Dinevel is the first one. And there you found a ton of destruction left in the wake of the dragon. The only thing mostly standing is, of course, or was, of course, the castle. Its walls were definitely worse for wear, but for the most part, it was still standing, whereas the majority of the town was not. A couple buildings here and there, but not really livable. You did eventually notice, a couple of you, some movement, though, among the shadows and the destruction, from what looked to be people in dark cloaks. Ultimately, you decided that if none of them approached you and asked for help, there was no real reason for you guys to approach them. So you said, fuck it, we're just going to walk through and see what happens, which basically nothing did. They left you alone, and you continued on your way, and found yourselves arriving in Caer where that everything was kind of the opposite of Caer Dinevel, where there was destruction and basically an unlivable situation. This town was untouched, as far as you could tell. Everyone was happy, living their lives, and there was no sign of destruction anywhere. Of course, this led you to be kind of confused and started to ask questions. Kind of going to the hotspots in town, being mostly the tavern, the inn, and the adventurers' kind of store that was in the town. And realistically, you didn't find much more than there were two heroes, they kept being called, who apparently had saved the town. They had apparently stopped the dragon before it even arrived within the general vicinity of the townsfolk, and they'd scared it off, and it never even touched them. So they were very much heralded in a well regard in the town, but as you kind of delved into it, you found that no one really kind of knew much more about them than they were nice people who helped. One of them's name was completely unknown, and basically they said he didn't really talk much, and that was like, okay, well, just minimal communication, doesn't want to express much, whatever. The other one's name supposedly has something Kai, but even that you couldn't really make much out on. You were told by one person that it was just very difficult to say. So generally it seems people might have just forgotten because of that. But with really nothing more to go on than these kind of scant rumors and little bits of information, you guys decided there was nothing really here to see, so instead you sought some information about where you'd be heading, that being, of course, towards the Ruslan Village. The head of the adventurer's store, Frozen Far Expeditions, I believe it was called, he kind of told you guys a good bit about what to watch out for in the area, and definitely warned you that it was dangerous to head out in that direction. But that was nothing that you hadn't really heard of or felt that you couldn't deal with, at least especially considering what you guys had already been through. So, with nothing really to do here seemingly, and nothing really stopping you from going forward, you guys just rested for a night at the inn and headed off in the morning for a nice safe travel on your way to head towards the Ruslan Village. On your way, though, you did run into a slight encounter with what you quickly determined after some searching through the kind of, or over a berm, if I remember correctly, was a giant on a mammoth, a frost giant on a mammoth. After the party kind of tried to somewhat figure out if it was necessary to engage or not, the giant made the choice for them and chased them down. So everyone quickly, got to arms, got in position, and started to chop down this giant and its pet mammoth. The most interesting part at this point was the fact that at the point of staying at the inn before this, your tiefling friend had kind of changed his appearance, and now that you were out in the wilderness, he asked if you wanted him to partake in, a more active battle role, and receiving kind of a confirmation from the group, you all watched as he was able to cut quite a fair wound into this giant, almost as if he had seemed somewhat experienced with not only fighting giants, but fighting in general, far more so than maybe any of you. But with his help, it was definitely easy pickings, made quick work of the enemy, and you guys, basically just packed up and headed back on your way. However, as is apt with your group, conflict is never far, so once you arrived in this village of Goliaths, where we find ourselves now, the first thing that you interacted with was not open arms and greetings, but was rather a giant shirtless Goliath, who, let me do you the favor of...
With nipples like knives.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely out there for you to see. Let me put this here.
Let's just say he didn't need an ice pick.
I think that the aspect ratio is a little fucked. There we go. So, giant shirtless Goliath man kind of sauntered out of the farthest tent away from you. These tents made of essentially whalebone and skins and kind of scraps of wood and metal. And as he walked towards you, this glowing ball that looked somewhat like a tiny sun appeared in his hand and came flying towards the group. All of you quickly found yourselves panicking. We found, for the most part, quick attempts at dex saving throws, but both Leif and Mallow slipped on the ice pretty horridly, while Kara and Mace just barely managed to keep their feet out, under them. But no one really seemed to fully escape this thing, except the one thing Kara didn't quite notice, but all of you seem to notice right before this orb collides with you, is that the tiefling out in front is simply standing there with a grin on his face. And this is where we find ourselves coming back, as this orb reaches to just a couple feet away from your group, and then fizzles out of existence, and the man bellows a loud guffaw and basically screams out, "Friend Magnus, has been long time since I've seen you!" and continues to kind of walk up towards the group. And the tiefling, at this point, will walk out as well and kind of just stand toe-to-toe with the man. Their height difference is definitely something. He's really almost standing at, like, the man's navel. But after a moment of it, they kind of reach out and clasp hands, and this giant of a man, in what looks to be somewhat of a handshake, but also an attempt to pull the tiefling into a hug, just tears him off of his feet and up to shoulder height and just wraps his arms around him. And these two clearly are, in your eyes, friends of some sort. Anything anybody wants to say or do, or you just want to let this play out?
So did he miss, or was he just trying to give him a scare? I can't tell.
I'm just glad we didn't get cooked. But the meeting has got to be some sort of story. Though I'm sure he'll be more than glad to tell us about it. Seems like the type.
Oh, hello. He, puts the tiefling down. Who is friend? Who have brought? His new party? You do something else? And the tiefling just, no. Well, I guess technically, they brought me here. I'm somewhat of a guard, we'll say, just to make sure I could get through the wastes. It's not like I'm the most adept for the cold, as it is. And the giant man kind of nods a little and just, you did not accept challenge of wastes. Yes, okay. At least took up challenge of map, correct? And you just see the tieflings like nodding. Yeah, of course. How else would I have gotten here?
You had me read a map.
Just kind of side eyes. The Goliath looks down at you. You were navigator.
I was. It was a really weird map. It's almost like it was drawn counterintuitively until you figured out the trick to it.
He clasps just a giant hand down on your shoulder, and he bellows another really loud laugh. You have overcome the challenge. Welcome to Ruslan Village. We like visitor like you. And he claps his hands twice as he lets you go. And you just kind of hear some noise in the village as slowly but surely you would just notice a couple of heads seem to be kind of peeking out of wrong layer, but I'll figure this out later. Peeking out of some of these tents as I start to unveil some people. Anyone else? Just so that we're not hogging the scene.
I'm just kind of gonna get a little closer, just slightly, just in case. But I'm not gonna engage necessarily. Just gonna watch this play out personally.
It is disappointment to me that friend Magnus has of course once again given up on challenge, but at the same time, there is some degree to which finding someone able to read map is challenge itself. So, we take, we give. It's good to at least have new friend that know is capable. And he's of course still looking down at you, Kara.
While she's looking up, it's like... So, I'm curious, why make it a test?
Oh, it's just our way here. If you cannot overcome test of reading map to get to location, how is supposed to live out here?
Okay. Not gonna pretend I understand it, but okay.
Well, you see, it's kind of like opposite other Goliath. They live in cave, you can always find. We move around, so make map, and if not able to find location from map, then not worthy of coming to Ruslan Village. Is that more clear? Make more sense?
Yeah, it does.
Well, welcome. Come. All come. We will talk closer to fire. And as he kind of starts heralding you all towards the village, you would definitely notice the giant fire pit made of what looks to be kind of loose stones and things, just surrounding a massive fire of anything flammable that doesn't look like it could be construction material. The Virtuoso at this point as well kind of walks up and he examines it. He's very interested.
Kara's just standing by the fire with her wings kind of spread out, just like, yes.
Yeah. The Goliath kind of walks around as well and just positions himself kind of closer to the hut that he came from. And the other Goliaths start kind of getting closer. And you would definitely see, I'm just going to end up revealing most of them, as they are, they don't actually get too close. None of them seem to have any weapons, but they are not necessarily all as undressed as Pecha is here. For the most part, they wear clothes much more like the other Goliaths, but they would seem much more visually serious, I guess, at first glance. There's kind of more of a scowl on their faces that kind of furrows their brows against the sun, shining off of the ice. A lot of their clothing is kind of torn but re-sewn up in ways that make it very clear that it is from battle damage. You see a couple of them that are even missing like hands or limbs. This group seems much more almost ferocious at first glance than any of the other goliaths that you've visited, which definitely is a lot to say considering they are, people of the stone. Um, but for the most part, they just are kind of pretty good about keeping their distance and just waiting to see what their chieftain here is kind of going to direct them to do. And you can all tell from having been in Goliath kind of environments before, the way that they look to this man it's very clear that they're waiting for his action or his word to take action, I should say. But yeah, for the most part, the first thing that actually happens is the Virtuoso looks across the fire at him and simply, after kind of examining the fire here and looking at all the people, says, Can I build a stage and play music for you all? Magnus has told me you play the flute, right?
I'm gonna be hiding behind one of these huts to stay as far away from the music as I can.
That's fine. So as you're standing there, just be warned, as just much like all the other huts, you would actually find very quickly a group of 3 kind of barrels out this door, and all of them just tower down over you. I know Mallow is tall, but these people are closer to like 9.5 feet tall. Or 9 feet tall, so they're still definitely like over you. And they see you kind of leaning against their hut, and one of them just, "What are you
I'm not
doing?"
leaning on it. I'm just standing there.
That's fine, but it's not like they're threatening you up front. They're just, "What are you doing?"
Standing.
"Are you with them?" Points over to the rest of the party.
Sadly.
And 2 of them, one of them walks over here, one of them walks over here, and then one of them is just going to kind of stand back over this way. But he doesn't let you leave his sight at first. And then I have a couple others I'll unveil later. But realistically, they're all surrounding you, basically. But Petra does reply to the Virtuoso. And
"Oh yes, I love to play music. It's one thing that in village we do to pastime. All of us enjoy together to sing, dance, and play songs."
And the Virtuoso is just, a grin kind of grows on his face. "Oh yeah, this is going to be a place for me. I'm going to like this." And he immediately just kind of walks around the fire a little more and just starts kind of examining it from different angles, almost as if he's looking for like the best place to set up with like the light reflecting against the huts and things. You could tell he's definitely got an eye for his dramatics, we'll say. So he just kind of fucks off and starts doing his own thing. The Tiefling, after warming himself at the fire, he reapproaches the Goliath and just...
"So I do have to ask, why exactly here? This far out? I mean, couldn't be closer to the 10 towns."
And the big man's like,
"Well, it's of course not. It's not challenge if not out here. We have literally nothing here. Everything we do is for our sake of survival, and everything that we make of ourselves is only by our own hands. It's perfect for us."
And the rest of the Goliaths are just kind of nodding along. You would actually see at this point a couple of them have actually pulled like sticks of jerky and stuff out, but they're not like any jerky you've ever seen. It's clearly from what you would assume.
Playing themselves?
Well, monsters, actually. It looks like giant hunks of legs of creatures that you can't necessarily name at first glance. Things like that. Having seen an Aarakocra, you're pretty sure there's like one guy chewing on an Aarakocra wing somewhere over in the distance.
Like, that's way too big to be a turkey.
Right, exactly. And you're not exactly sure if that's what it is, but you're standing there like, well, fuck, I'm not really sure. I want to find out, right? But yeah, for the most part, they, just continue chatting. He would definitely very rapidly ask, about the party and how everybody is kind of came to be together. So he looks around at you all and just...
"It's definitely clear that all of you have been in Icewind for a bit of time. There is frost in beards, but you are not at all sensitive to it. So, is a question for you at least, Magnus, but anyone else wish to speak up. How did you all find each other? What bring you all here, honestly? I expect him," points to the Tiefling, "and I guess him, if he is with you. He says he know you. Either way, how you all meet?"
Does anyone want to interject before letting the Tiefling answer?
Anyone have something to say? Because I'm just going to answer at a bar.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
A living armor and orc and an angel walking to a bar.
Right? Oh, God. And a guy who can't decide on his face.
I didn't have the wings back then, to be fair.
No, that's true.
I mean, it doesn't change what you are.
That's fair. Yeah, so, Kara says in a bar, and you all just kind of nod. The tiefling just kind of grins, seeing that he has a chance, and
Oh yes, it was actually the most incredible thing. So you see, well, we might have to go a step back for this, but how about we?
and he looks over
It
at the
all begins
Virtuoso.
at Burning Man.
I mean, that is technically the story of this campaign, right? It all began
Yeah.
in Burning Man. Oh, God. First, we killed a man. That made us all complicit. So we kind of hung out together, and then we went to Burning Man. What? But no, in general, the tiefling, before he answers, he actually looks over at the Virtuoso, who is on his way back. And he says,
Well, in order to, I don't know, make it a little more dramatic, if he's ready, why don't we let him set up and we'll talk while he plays? Yes.
and Petcha kind of nods. And he waves everyone, in terms of the Goliaths, forward. And all of them kind of start walking towards where he's directed, not you, and start gathering over on this side of the village. And they will kind of waltz back around the fire, as he has decided that he wants to set up on this side. And the Virtuoso at this point is going to just start mass casting spells. Those of you who are spellcasters can tell very readily that, this is the first time you've kind of seen him in his full setup, or attempting at setting up. He summons up what is kind of not necessarily a stage because it doesn't sit off the ground, but there's these giant curtains that kind of hang in the air, that, they're illusory enough to be opaque. Like if he closes them, you won't be able to see what's on the other side. There's just all these like lavish kind of railings and furnishings that he sets up to kind of set up like a staging area that's just separated off. Nothing that blocks the view, but it very clearly, sets up the place he is in a different location almost from the rest of you. And no longer is he standing on ice. It looks like wood. I mean, he basically does up the whole area in roughly like a 15-foot ballroom almost area around him. Nothing huge, but enough that he can move around. And he just starts to summon up instruments, the illusory instruments that you've seen before. And he starts to kind of prepare himself as he usually does. And with a nod from Magnus, I can wait if she's going to say something. With a nod from Magnus, seeing that the Virtuoso is kind of ready, he gives him a grin, a nod back, and a thumbs up. And we will start our music for the evening so that it doesn't drag on too long. And so the Virtuoso summons up some instruments you've never seen before, and once again plays music in a way that is similar to what you've heard from him, but never, of course, before anywhere else. And with this beginning, the Tiefling kind of chuckles to himself and looks over at Petcha and says,
Oh, he's doing a theme night. It's not often he does these. You're definitely in for a treat. But in terms of how we met each other, yes. My life, it's taken a bit of a turn since we last met. None of them here really know how that worked, but, I guess for all of you, Petcha and I fought against a pretty well-known cult back in the day. And let's just say, I found myself with a group of adventurers who were attempting to do so, fight this cult, and, I joined them in seek more of treasures than anything else. Along our way, we lost members and gained others, and we found ourselves face to face, looking for armsmen to guard a caravan. So, apparently, too, was Petcha. Seeing that we were seeking to do the same goal, we teamed up, and the rest is history. We took down things as great as, Wizards of Thay. I killed a black dragonborn, in shadow, by the way, could not see, it was amazing. He dropped a man off of a building, and then convinced a giant to let us fight a dragon in order to take its treasures. So, classic adventuring things.
and the entire time, for the most part, the Goliath is like nodding, just,
Oh, he's not quite full story, but it's okay, we take for now.
and so eventually he continues on in his story.
Yeah, it's very interesting, because, after all that, living my life of kind of a debaucherous way, as I did, turns out a god kind of had its eye on me. And, let's just say my skills are now being put towards a greater good.
And the Goliath just,
You have work for gold now? This is not Magnus I know.
and he just nods.
Yes, well, it's not exactly what I've wanted for myself, but I will tell you, it's proven to be quite interesting. It's led me here, and, in all honesty, towards meeting people like them. And he points out at Kara and Mace and Leif. He doesn't see Mallow, but he doesn't really care. And, I've got to tell you, it's reinvigorated the adventuring lifestyle for me. So, I've been enjoying myself. Go ahead if you wanted to say something.
Oh no, not at all. I was just, it was just my reaction at you mentioning that he didn't really care about Mallow.
Okay, no, you're good. And Petra just kind of seems to accept that answer for the most part and just,
So you find them in bar, and then what? You ask girl to solve map for you because you have been unable to do so self? No,
More or
it's...
less.
God damn it. Well, at least she slept with me.
and Petra,
Eyebrow arch.
also the eyebrow of the Goliath arches. He looks down over at the girl.
Is true? Have watched him strike out with every beautiful woman he has ever met. Are you literally somehow different?
Extenuating circumstances, but the connotation in which he's implying is not the whole truth.
Oh, of course not. Okay, yes, that makes more sense. You still say Magnus then. Okay, good no, good no.
I will say he was accurate in the fact that we shared a bed. I will not say what was accurate about that.
Oh God.
Okay, I think I see story. It's something like, he tell you, oh, can join with me in bed tonight, and you say no, it's okay. And then you leave, find out that we're supposed to stay was not so good, and because Magnus have money, he decide to reserve some sort of good bed, and you say, fuck it, it's going to at least be comfortable night, and you just go back to there.
And the tiefling's just, his head is in his hands. He's like,
I don't understand how... Listen, we haven't seen each other for years. How could you literally just know that?
It's easy. I just know you. So, just they're kind of bullshitting back and forth on that.
Kara's just pointing at him like, almost word for word. That.
Great. Yeah. So as you guys are kind of, hemming and hawing, though, you do hear this weird kind of. You all would notice feedback, but it's not like any of you know what that noise is. And very quickly, like there's the two taps on a microphone, and very clearly it's the Virtuoso trying to get the attention of everybody. And everyone kind of glances over, and once you finally do, he leans close to what is a microphone. Not that any of you know what that is. And he just kind of, his voice is of course amplified as he says out, "Thank you everyone for joining me this evening. I wish to bring to you the songs that I envisioned while dreaming of these fine heroes." He corrects himself. And that's when everyone kind of turns and looks at the party. A little more interest in their eyes, being referred to as such. And he basically just continues his spiel. The first up, after, of course, my dear friend Magnus, is a man who who embodies the soul of that word far more than he may be aware, especially considering his steeled exterior. But sometimes, as he turns to you, Mace, we best remember the guiding words of our elders. If you aren't growing, you are dying. And with that, he begins another song for you all. And does tell you, and a word of advice from me, sometimes just because we can bear a burden does not mean we should do so alone. And with that, he's going to continue into this one. Okay. So as that song starts to fade and die down, you would hear him, of course, start not tapping the microphone, but he gets closer in again. And he kind of looks out at the crowd, and he's actually kind of surprised for a moment. And he kind of just seems to tap his chin and shrugs and just, up next was for the masked, mysterious man in the audience, who I do not see. And he's like shading his eyes, really looking. Well, regardless, for you, I can only say that I have never seen a man outrun his past, but I have seen many a hero face and overcome it. And with that, he will start this. So with that, he once again kind of looks out into the audience. This time he locks eyes very easily with Leif, and he kind of says, "Finally, and the most serious of advice for a man who I have thankfully grown to call a friend. Originally, I planned something a bit different, but after having spent a bit more time with our mutual acquaintance, I believe this piece should speak more for me instead. And while I promised I would not say too much, I do think this should be acceptable. While truly I know that enjoying yourself to the fullest, living in the moment can be an easy way to escape what we leave behind, it is only by looking towards the future we can move beyond that." So as you all are chatting and the song comes to a close once again, he kind of taps the microphone to catch your attention once more, but the person that he is looking at is, of course, Kara, the one who remains unaccounted for, as we should say. And he kind of clears his throat and just... "So, I'm sorry to do this to you, my girl, but,
You're just trying to get me to be your permanent singer, aren't you?
would you believe me if I told you this time it was not of my volition?
Yeah, that's what they all say. And she's...
Lady Freya has requested a song.
Oh?
She wishes me to back you up through what she has claimed your final masterpiece, Hunted." As he says this, you do kind of feel a tingle in the back of your mind. You definitely recognize that title.
Well, start the drums.
"In this case, my dear, you will find your presence required immediately. Fly upon my stage if you would."
He's already next to you, dude.
Yeah, well, he's trying to put on a show, okay? He was hoping you'd fly. Regardless.
She sighs and just takes flight over
Just
him.
hovers for a little bit and puts back down, yeah. He's like fist pumping. Yes. Alright, regardless though, he simply says, "We will start once I see the look in your eye." And he kind of just watches you for a moment or two. But he does pretty readily see that you are good to go. And it would be this. So by the end of that, Kara's got like so into the song, by the way, that she's basically like holding hands with the Virtuoso who I should have mentioned before doing the song. He closed the curtains and quickly changed into the form that looked like one of Kara's sisters again, like he's done in the past. You know, the first time that Kara sang with him. But yeah, so in general, they're like acting almost as if they were sisters at this point. You know, like it's much more similar to like what Kara and Ear looked like than when they first did their show for you guys in. I think it was Bryn Shander the first time you met him. But regardless, you know, Kara seems to kind of snap out of it towards the end as she realizes that she was getting a little too into the music, and she kind of separates hands from him, takes her own bow, and at that point you can fly away if you'd like to.
She wouldn't jerk away, but she would just realize what's going on. It's not like she's like repulsed by it, so.
Yeah. So at that point, still in kind of in the Kara's form, the Virtuoso does speak out again towards the crowd and just says basically, "And now, a song for all of you, my grateful listeners. I will give you a song that I believe musical folk like yourself should have no problem joining in upon. So please, if you feel you understand how to involve yourselves, do so forthwith." And the next thing he plays is... There we go. This right here. I will note, just because you guys might not remember, this is actually a song you guys have heard him play before, or at least it seems like it is at first. You will note, though, the Goliaths very readily kind of start bobbing their heads, and they all start moving in. The Goliath behind you, Kara, he at this point will just reach down a hand, offering with your offer.
Well, he made the first move, so.
Technically, the Tiefling did, but he didn't say anything, so.
Oh, he raised his hand. He made the first move.
Alright, fair enough. Let's just do a group performance roll for you two.
Fantastic.
Look at that 0 modifier.
Yeah, no problem at all, though. Yeah, so he actually doesn't seem to necessarily be doing any sort of traditional dance, but he very quickly seems to fall into step with what you're doing, since he realized with your performance earlier that you are much more fleet of foot than him. And he keeps up with your performance very readily. So you're actually kind of more dancing with him than him dancing with you, but it looks pretty great. So, and Leif, as soon as you said that, by the way, the two Goliaths who are behind you, they kind of, I grabbed too many, they kind of move in on you, and they're just like, they hand you a skin. You don't necessarily know what's in it, but they hand you a skin. If you want to drink from it, I definitely need a con check, a con save, I should say. Yeah. Alright, so this is one of the strongest liquors you've had since coming to the Icewind Dale. In fact, if anything, you would almost believe it tastes somewhat akin to like a fermented blood. So, definitely kicks you in the mouth. But, nothing that you can't keep down.
I think this is the lowest drinking con roll you've rolled the whole campaign.
That is correct. Which I think is kind of fitting for these guys to be the ones that are, they've got some handmade liquors that are just a little bit more gross. Things that the 10-towners would not even think of trying to do, so. But yeah, with that, as the song kind of dies down, even though I say dies down, the Virtuoso would probably keep the verse going for quite a while and let these people really kind of party their hearts out and join in with him. And you would notice a whole bunch of Goliaths are bringing out like what look almost like makeshift instruments, but very, very readily they kind of join in on the instrumentation as well and add their own little flares. And there's just women and men Goliath, all over dancing readily, which is at this point when I guess probably makes most sense to reveal to you the green dots are men and the yellow dots are women. So just in case you guys are looking for a specific. But yeah, with that, the party just kind of goes into the night since you guys arrived here, I believe, mid-afternoon. Eventually, as things are kind of not necessarily dying down, but we'll say, clearly it's becoming more of a dinner time. The shirtless man will at some point realize his people are kind of going towards their huts looking for food and stuff, and not wanting the party to die down, he calls out to everyone, and he's,
worry not, we'll get food. Be right back, it's fine.
And he just kind of saunters over here, in this direction. And he takes and he makes another one of those suns that he did when he first, met you guys. And he simply just points it down at the ice, and he makes a nice Petra-sized hole, and he just simply dives underneath the ice and disappears.
So, Magnus, he's the village chief?
It wasn't when I knew him. Actually, back then, I'm pretty sure he didn't want that position. I mean, it's actually an interesting one, because I think he always carried that gem with him anyway, which would have signified it had some importance to him, the seat. But, yeah, not when I knew him, but I guess now he is, considering the way they look to him.
Kara will look to the closest other Goliath. He's the boss?
Oh, yeah. No one here beat Petra.
Good to know. So if we were to ask for assistance in combating a god, he'd be the one to talk to, or would anyone else be up for that?
I mean, he sounds like fun time, but what do you mean when they combat god?
Deity responsible for the eternal winter of the Icewind Dale we want to kick out of the house?
Not sure actually is interesting though.
Oh, that's not the response I thought I would be getting. Alright.
We are nomadic people of the Icewind Dale. We love to live putting selves against the challenge of ice. It's not exactly like we would be able to do that if suddenly world disappears, no?
I mean, it's not like the snow and ice is going to go away forever, but it's going to let the sun come back out every now and then.
Right, which makes living much easier.
You could always go into the further north and where the mountains are.
I see has not done research about location here. Once Arl's everlasting winter is gone, is a location where sometimes is green, is easy to live. Even further north, he's still not as bad as he's now. We like bad now.
You'll have to forgive me. I'm not familiar with that. I crash landed on this realm a couple
As you
months
say
ago.
crash, as conveniently timed as it might seem, the ice over where the Goliath disappeared shatters as he kind of launches forward out of it again, dragging himself up through what is a clearly very thick ice shelf, or sheet, I should say. And he's dragging behind him what looks to be some sort of a gigantic fish. It is clearly easily size huge, and he's dragging it across the ice, and he just brings it over here, and he looks at his people and points to the fish, and most of them that are hungry just start swarming over to it. I didn't have a picture that I could upload because I was out of space. But
Yep.
they just kind of surround and begin to feast. And you would notice a couple of Goliaths would actually take and start bringing food to certain other tents.
There you go, giant goldfish.
Perfect. That is exactly what we needed. But then after doing that, they quickly return. And they just start chowing down. And of course, any is offered to you as well. But you would notice that these people tend to just rip the fish straight off and just eat it. Some of them will sometimes walk over to the fire and cook it a little, but for the most part,
Yeah,
it's
not-
just...
Kara's gonna go with the grilled method and take off a section, put it on the end of her spear, and just hoist it over the fire.
Virtuoso will also come over and try and find himself some food. You would actually, at this point, see Kara. You're definitely perceptive enough. A couple shreds of the meat as it is being pulled apart suddenly start to float up, and they find their way kind of over the head of the Goliaths and into the hands of both Magnus and the Virtuoso.
Gonna lie, I have expected him to tell them to fight over it.
Oh, there's no need. We're having fun tonight. Everyone gets own food most of the time anyway. It's okay to trade once in a while. It's not like it's hard work for me to get something like this.
You broke open
No.
a hole in the ice, free dove down to a fish, punched it, I'm assuming, and then pulled it back out.
Da.
Asked politely.
Kara will just thank you and just continue to grill the fish.
But yeah, so I would say in terms of Goliath culture, you would notice that these guys, it's almost interesting to you all how, once again, though, the food time is very communal with these Goliaths. They're gathered around this giant feast, and they're all just kind of going at it without anyone really seeming to worry about anyone else getting a better share or anything like that. So even here, the Goliath nature seems to ring pretty true.
Of food is God.
I mean, maybe. It's a good lesson in general, right? So, I don't know if you're paying attention to the chat, Mallow, but Kara is calling for you to get food before it's gone, if you want to,
Well, I'll go
Come
get
on.
food.
Okay.
I would like to. Oh no, never mind. Won't do that.
Do it.
Okay, I'm gonna roll sneak at advantage then.
Go for it. It's okay.
18. And I'm gonna try to just go get food and just kind of hide away in the corner. I don't know where that is. I'll try to go right there. I don't know if there's a certain spot that the line started.
It's not a
No,
line.
it's kind of
You
just
kind of
reach in and grab.
Yep. So yeah, but at this point, the night's definitely gotten pretty later. It's dark. You guys could definitely claim, for the most part, it is time to start settling down. You would see that a lot of these Goliaths, once they kind of finish eating, they do seem to start dispersing to a degree, but none of them seem to be readily heading towards bed per se. A lot of them actually start disappearing off into the distance, and then they come back, fair bit of time later if you guys are choosing to stay up and do stuff. But for the most part, yeah, the village seems to be kind of at a point of they're done with the festivities and they're doing their own thing. So Petra, after kind of seeing everyone start to disperse, would actually that's the wrong. He would basically say, or ask, I should say.
So, do you all have way to survive in cold, or does need to stay in tent?
I'm okay camping outside if I need to.
He's good. Like the
literally
challenge.
been covered in snow before, so
He's meant to ask about you. You have strange air about you. Have you been to other Goliath?
I'm not sure I enjoy the verbiage of that statement, but
You've not been to other Goliath?
We met with the other two clans on the southeast.
Okay. Okay. It's interesting.
yes.
So, you do think there?
Well, she'll point to the most of the men in the party. It's like they did.
Yeah, we passed their various rites of passage, if that's what you mean.
Scent of stone. Okay. Okay. Good no. Good job on your part. It's not anything too difficult, but it's definitely a challenge. It's very good job. Difficult for many to pass through. Especially type like you, fleshy type.
And then he
Looks at the rest of the
realizes-
party.
He actually looks down at you and goes,
Oh. Actually, it's probably more difficult for you, huh?
Well, there was some adjusting that needed to be made, but ultimately it was all right.
He's good. He's good.
We were trying to convince them to help fight a god, or at least the armies that are surely at one's disposal.
You wish to fight what, Oral?
One and the same.
Hey, why do?
Well, mostly to alleviate the suffering of the many peoples that live within this region.
My god told me to.
And,
Well,
well, there's that, but
Suggested to, and I've taken it upon myself to do it.
yeah, some of us are easily influenced.
It's interesting way you say that you do for your god. Do not see your god here. Only see you here.
Kara shrugs. Just because you can't see her doesn't mean she's not here.
More mean... Question self-interest. So you do and then what?
Then I figure out whether I want to stay or whether I want to go back.
Go back where? To home? Where are you from? Which place of Sword Coast? I have probably been to.
Valhalla.
I have not been to. Where is this?
Would you like to be?
It's another plane of existence.
How far one have to walk to get here? It sounds like fun challenge.
Well, you don't have to walk very far to get there. I could probably take you there. You just have to die.
he blinks a couple times.
Are you telling me to kill myself?
No, but that is the price for entry.
Is to kill self.
That's to die in battle.
Oh, that sounds fun. Okay, now back on board.
Looks down at Magnus.
You in with this? You do this the god that you're with? Now I'm interested.
And he actually shakes his head. No, I'm not part of this mess. Honestly, I have no idea what's really going on here.
I don't think many of us do. We have our own reasons to go along with it.
So is even Masked Man. He's one with you all?
Yes.
Allegedly.
So then ask others. Girl gets to, I guess, what, God give you sex for kill God? And then, what about man over here?
He points to you, Leif.
Why you kill God?
Well, for the sex party afterwards.
He blinks a couple times.
This was not mentioned. Where is sex party? We'll join sex party.
Valhalla.
Always place or die. So you expect die against Oral. Is understand. Okay.
Well, I mean, if you die, then you get the sex party. If not, then you just keep fighting until the sex party.
Then you just have an extra limb.
So confused. Why you then go kill God? It's far more fun live like this, no?
And he literally just points to the icy wasteland around him. Spreads his arms like the scene in Iron Man 1 with the missiles at the very beginning.
Frozen tumbleweed goes by.
Yeah, exactly. You hear the ice just crackle as it freezes even more.
You see a
back-
bird
You look
freeze
back.
in midair.
You look back. You realize the hole that Petra came out of and made earlier are both already frozen over.
Well, this might be pleasant living for your clan. Most of the others are not strong enough to bear that type of lifestyle. it'll probably kill most of them in another year or so.
Sounds a lot like them problem, not my problem.
Yeah, we figured you'd say that.
Oh, why, you ask Magnus over there? Magnus know better? Would be impressed if he expected me to say that, honestly. No, they never asked
No.
me. I have no idea what they're talking about.
We did ask
Honestly.
one of your clansmen if they'd be interested in fighting a god, and they said why it would be boring.
Yes, it sounds more like right. I mean, it's not exactly that fighting the god be boring. Honestly, that sounds like fun challenge. His issue with how it leave us after with inability to challenge self further.
You know, I've heard that if one were to defeat a god, they can take over their status and their power. As such, you could technically keep it eternal winter wherever you go.
I don't want to have to kill 2 gods in one day. Please don't.
Yes, was about to ask. It seems counterintuitive to girl point of what she tried to do. She says she wish stop winter.
I know, but if you were able to control it, you could centralize it on your own region. Leave everyone
What?
else out of it, you keep your cold conditions.
Yes, but what is point if it's something that we doing to ourselves? It's about overcome the adversity that is beset upon you.
So you're saying you're not doing this to yourselves?
Oh no, we do to ourselves to a degree, but is more like let me say put this way. You and I, we have disagreement, yes. Need to prove which is better man. So I say to you, we do challenge, and you and I both be forced to same challenge. One who lasts longer is one incorrect. But this is same thing, only in terms of for life. Those of us who can thrive in the location here, then we leave. Those of us who cannot, they go live with other Goliath.
Huh. Well, given that is your outlook, out of curiosity, why is it that you prevent the other 2 clans from fighting each other to the death?
Listen, we did nothing. I not wanted nothing to do with them. They were headache.
Well, according to them, your clan is the main reason they haven't already
Yes,
picked at
because
each
they
other's
like
bones.
crying whiny baby, constantly come over. Graven come flying. We think finally it's time for some chicken meal. No, it's not time for chicken meal. It's stupid from Sky Tower. He complain. And then we listen to them, we listen to others from Wormdoom. All of it's just complaining, whining baby talk. Weaklings. So instead I tell them, listen, you know, shut up and attack each other, do stupid thing like that. I come kill all. It's easy solution. And then they shut up and leave me alone.
That makes a lot of sense.
Kara's just looking up like, they had the greatest misunderstanding in the world. My god.
Welcome to my telling of the Cold War of the Goliaths. Oh, God.
So, I have a question. Why was one tribe predominantly male and the other predominantly female? Did they realize that they were supposed to, like, connect or something?
Is, I think, way of nature saying, need to balance. Time to overcome bullshittery and mix clan. They say, is okay, we just not focus on. I think it will come to bite us eventually, but, they have to get overfilled one way or another now.
Well, it's a good thing they intervened.
It's a good thing. What?
They intervened.
Is she actually pointing at someone or just saying in general?
Just saying in general.
They being who?
Oh. And she'll again gesture to most of the group. They took the trials on both sides. They made it work.
We made them talk. That said,
Cannot
while
believe
they
you
are
think it's
interested in
good idea
testing
to make sit down
themselves.
and talk. Can only imagine headache result from that.
well, it was a little
Maybe fat
childish.
asshole of a griffin.
And, well, she might be losing her ears again at one point or another. But I'd say it was worth it.
So you say
Plus,
the problem is solved though. Is no more fight?
For
Okay.
now.
For now, yeah.
Very good. Good job. Well done. Means now no longer have to be wary. Can finally go visit for 10 towns again.
Oh, why would you want to?
Oh, it's fun sometimes go visit people in towns. I've traveled whole of Sword Coast. I meet lots of people. People are fun. Not saying that I buy anything there, just is fun day trip.
All
Wait.
right.
You were the one that walked down the coast on a bet.
Yes.
And he actually will point over his shoulder. to the guy that's like right over, far north of the village.
He pussied out far faster than expect. Only made it about 3/4 of what Pecha do. Weakling.
Was exiled for 3 weeks after that.
No, he came back. Everyone make fun of him. Pecha come back more successful. Pecha become leader.
That's all it took.
No. I mean, it's long things in life that lead up to people trust Pecha. But it was last thing in list.
You know, to play the devil's advocate here, or Loki's advocate here, little prick.
I know not who this is, but sound fun. Would like to beat.
Oh, so say we all. What's to stop someone from, hiding for months on end and coming back and saying they went farther?
I mean, there's nothing technically to stop them. It's just, if really be that weakling man, it will be found eventually. We tell go find own food, you not be able to find own food. We tell go do other challenge of some sort that is a similar scale of whatever it is you lied about. It become obvious very easy. It's not that we only do one challenge and accept it here. It's constant overcome, one again.
Huh. Kara's got a thought on her mind, but she's having trouble putting it into words, so until I figure out what I'm trying to say,
Yep.
someone else
absolutely.
can say something.
No worries. So he's also going to kind of, look over at Magnus and the Virtuoso at this point and just,
No, you no have ability to stay out in cold, so can join in my tent tonight. Yes, sound good.
Yes, thank you. I was going to ask about that. Also, if you wouldn't mind.
he kind of just looks off in the distance, and Pecha follows his gaze and just,
Yes, we'll explain that later. He will explain that later.
Kara just looks, the fuck?
I mean, you want a perception check? You can see where they looked and follow their gaze.
Sure.
You definitely would have noticed what they were doing, so.
18.
Yeah, they looked southwest.
So what's happening that way?
Like said, we'll explain later. He's honestly surprised that not has come to see what happened, but he's king. We'll deal with later.
Eh. And Kara will finish eating her part of the fish and go get the sled dogs and just kind of nestle in with them.
Yeah, so once you start bringing the sled dogs close, Petra would actually kind of see them, and he would call for his people to at least start bringing out some stuff that they can use to just create kind of a wall next to the fire for you, so that they can, the dogs can kind of sit out of the wind, not necessarily be open to the elements. So they build like a little hut next to the fireplace. Green square is just like a nice little sheltered place for the dogs. You can absolutely fit in there as well. In terms of the others, yeah. Kara's found her place. Well, you guys are going to have to figure yourselves out.
Well, cold don't fuck with me, so I'm just gonna sit by the fire and go to sleep.
Alrighty.
Are you saying cold never bothered you anyway?
Cold never bothered me anyway.
I'll sit by the fire.
But you're not doing your usual stoic man in the corner?
Stoic
Well,
man in the corner.
What corner is there to be stoic in?
Yeah, like where are the corners?
That's very fair.
I see no
Figured I'd ask.
No, I'll sit by the fire, close to Kara and dogs and the wall thing.
Yeah.
Within earshot, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I'll just probably keep the fire not lit, but stoked enough to keep providing some heat throughout the night.
Perfect. Okay. How about you, Leif? You're the last one to choose.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna stay by the fire too. Just try and stay warm by it. We should be okay. We'll be
Yeah.
alright.
Alright.
Liquor keeps me warm.
So I will tell you guys, it's not going to be an issue, but you would notice that as you kind of settle down, it seems like for the most part there is always a Goliath who's kind of active, walking around the village, just doing guards work. He'll walk over to the fire every once in a while and just like toss wood in and stuff that you see him kind of grab from out back behind some of these tents as he's doing his patrol. So he's the one that seems to keep the fire going, and then sometime during the night he walks back over to a tent and he goes back in it, and someone else comes and takes out a shift, right? So just, you can tell that this group seems to be very much what's the term? Very very active. They're not. It's not like the other Goliaths where you kind of all saw that they would bed down for the night and they felt safe in their caves. These people feel much more akin to like when you guys are out on adventures. You kind of doing.
Someone's always on patrol.
Patrols.
Right, yeah, you got your shifts, and someone's always aware. The fire never really dies down. It's just a slightly different atmosphere, so just making sure that it's kind of evident is all. But yeah, for the most part, the night goes completely uneventful, short of the guy that's walking around. The dogs all rest up peacefully. In all honesty, it's kind of interesting. Having heard them before, you do hear the calls of Yetis in the distance, but you actually, especially you, Kara, kind of all can tell. At one point, the calls kind of come closer, and then there's like these kind of panicked howls in the further distance, and then the howls all are much further away again. It's almost as if, even creatures in this area seem to give a fair birth to this zone, even though there's, guarding Goliaths. So it's this weird dichotomy almost, where you're like, well, they're protecting themselves like true, adventurers, true wastelanders, whatever you want to call it, but at the same time, the nature around here almost seems to respect them the same amount as the other Goliaths.
One of the Goliaths takes the shoe off and throws it like a baseball in the
Yeah,
distance.
right. Yeah, exactly. You just hear it.
He does the Latino mom.
The chancla.
Slipper
La
throw.
chancla!
The Latino mom slipper toss.
Exactly. But
Dead eye.
yeah,
1,000
like I
yards.
said, it is absolutely an uneventful night because of all this, all this stuff to put together. It just kind of creates a very safe scenario for you. So yeah, long rests for anyone who needs them. And then go ahead.
Through the night, I mean, just before fully sleeping, I guess,
Yes.
I want to ask Kara,
Okay.
that song you sang, you said, well, he said that it had something to do with your mother, or
It did.
where exactly did it come from, and did you make it?
Oh, I wrote it. I think.
I would say that you definitely have memory of that at this point. You'd know what that is and what it's for.
Okay, then yeah, I wrote it.
Why? It seemed unlike you.
It was a self-reflection of coming to understand what my role would be.
You didn't seem very pleased about it.
Oh, well, part of it was an argument I had with Freya before I came to understand her side.
So you gave in.
No, I'm still here.
Yet you understand.
Sure, I came to understand her point of view. Doesn't necessarily mean that I disagree with it, but I found a calling, and I chased it. And I could still believe in one thing and follow another. I was more one of action. I didn't stop to think of the whys, just the hows.
Doesn't that defeat the whole concept of it being your purpose?
No, it doesn't. That's, like I said, it was self-reflection. It was how I felt before really understanding what I was doing.
And you were at peace with it?
She helped me figure out how to identify the hows. Just give them to me.
So I guess at this point you have found yourself, your old self, your same self?
I don't have all of my memories, if that's what you're asking, and I doubt I'll have them all for quite a while, but I've remembered enough about myself to be at peace with the choices I made and am making. Still all my
Yeah.
choices. So if anything, I think I've mellowed out a little bit. It was a lot more abrasive beforehand. Would jump into something head first and figure out the repercussions after I'd been knocked around a bit.
At peace does not necessarily mean satisfied.
No, I mean, that's perspective. I'm at peace with my decisions and therefore can be satisfied with them. Though, that being said, if my choices got some of you all killed, I'd regret it. But you guys would be going on to a better place.
I suppose that's a nice way to look at it. That must bring you at least some comfort.
Yes and no, I guess. I don't know how long I'm gonna live in this body. I don't know. I mean, short of being put into a literal eternal slumber, because no
But
one's
for
there to pick
someone
up the
like you, that
pieces.
shouldn't matter.
I mean, you know how it works. I can't get up unless one of you helps me get up.
I understand, but even before you were in this mortal coil, you were you.
Yeah, but I also wasn't alone. I mean, you don't know how long you're gonna live for, so it means I have one person that's potentially gonna last as long as I do or longer. But Leif's mortal. He's got a lifespan of, well, shorter because that he's the
TikTok.
type to go into battle a lot. I don't know how long his kind actually lives for with a peaceful life. I don't think any of them have ever reached it.
I didn't know of any peaceful orcs before I met him.
And I don't know what Mallow is, but he can regenerate if he can change shapes, I think.
If he shares traits with his siblings, then he holds a lot more potential than one might think.
Well, either way, any of you guys die, and she'll air quotes the death part, you have a place to go to.
So then, what does death really mean to you?
Kara will sit there and think about that for a moment and go, well, before death was my job. Now it's an unknown.
Is it any different than sleeping and waking?
I don't know. I haven't really experienced a true death. Who knows? Maybe if I die, like actually die, one of my sisters will come drag my ass off to Valhalla.
It never ceases to surprise me how that security can lie in you at all times.
Why worry about it?
Well, most of us who have humble beginnings care about marks we'll leave on this earth.
Yeah, what's not to say that you haven't left them?
Well, everyone leaves a mark here or there, a scratch, a dot,
If I remember
an ink
correctly,
blot.
you saved a couple towns.
Sure,
You ended a feud between two warring clans.
I'm not alone to thank for it, but I understand where you're going.
Killed a
It's not
dragon.
that.
Yeah, no, I'll call that a dragon. It acted like one.
What I mean is, given your longevity, you must understand that the only purpose of leaving a mark on this earth is for self-fulfillment, because given enough time, 1 or 2 generations, everything, even your name, might be forgotten. As such,
The name might be forgotten, but the action certainly wouldn't be. Let's say we go with your scenario and you only inspire one person. Well, you've inspired that one person, and they will make an action based off of what they perceived you did. Let's say you inspired some small person to become a warrior and save people like you did. Then maybe they make their mark in history and they become famous. So inadvertently, you created a hero. Consequently, you failed to leave that mark on someone, and in desperation, you created the villain. Either way, you've left a mark. It's just not necessarily positive.
yes, exactly that. As such, we must be careful to find satisfaction in whatever marks we do leave.
Or just don't worry about the marks and live your life. They'll be there or they won't. It's not your problem. But if you're determined to leave a legacy, you need to figure out what kind of legacy you want to leave and strive for it. So, with that
What,
being said, what kind of legacy do you want to leave?
to be quite frank, I had not envisioned leaving anything.
Then you got nothing to worry about.
Yes, perhaps you're right.
Well, assuming that I have the same longevity I had before, I'm gonna just wander the realms for a while. Just stick with me, I guess.
Would you be
Or don't.
permitted to even do that?
I'm mortal. I've got all the choices in the world.
Well, you still have a job to get back to.
Yeah, and I'm doing it. Once that job's done, I'm a free agent, so to speak, I think.
Forgive me if I'm misremembering, but doesn't your uh doesn't your lore indicate that when your job is done, we're all done for?
Well, if I was still a true Valkyrie, then yeah, probably. But I don't see hell overflowing anytime soon. I think I'd feel that. I think we'd all feel
And
that.
this might come a little more blunt than I mean it, but
You got a hammer, knock that shit down.
yeah, well, actually, that's great. That's a great choice, but unfortunately, I'm not trying to sink anyone's skull in tonight. But what I meant to say is, you're still leashed to your deity or mother. You still have a duty until the end of days, as far as I come to understand it. And yet you talk about wandering the realms, knowing the world, living a life past this mission.
What, I can't...
How
I
is
can't,
it that you
guys.
have the certainty that you'll be permitted it?
You know you're beholden to no one other than yourself. I've chosen to carry out that task at this point, and I've also chosen to just do what I want afterwards. I can do both at the same time. If I see a fight and I think someone's worthy, I can mark them as worthy to go to Valhalla.
And that's all it takes.
Yeah, pretty much. I was always the weird one when it came to my choices anyway, so no reason to stop now.
Mm. Part of
Besides,
me figured it would be more of a burden.
Freya's only trying to help me achieve what I want, and it took becoming mortal to kind of figure that out.
What
Well,
is it you want
since...
exactly?
Well, I have to figure that out. I mean, I've only had, let's call it that epiphany, since I literally hit the ground and forgot everything.
Hmm.
So I've had a couple months to figure out how to be me again. I think. Memory loss is funny like that, I guess. Either way, I'm not disappointed in my choices, and as I gain more of my memories, I realize that they're really in line with who I used to be anyway. So, fuck other people's perceptions. I'm gonna do me.
Your level of confidence in the future is unsettling.
There is that fine line between confidence and arrogance, and if you're not straddling that border, you're not putting yourself out there enough. That plus, when people die, it's not like it's a problem for me. It just means I'm marking more souls.
Uh, Strange question. I believe, Chance here wants to talk to you. Would you mind?
Looks at the hammer. It's like, so how does that work exactly? Do I just grab it, or does it?
He flips it over, and essentially extends the handle to you.
Okay. Kara will grab hold of the hammer.
Are you
Just-
handing it over entirely, Mace?
He'll hesitate. He'll hold onto it for an extended period of time, but eventually let go.
Interesting. Okay. In that case,
Do you want me to respond out loud, or do you want me to respond in
however
text?
Kara would. However Kara would, do you think? That's just in your head.
Oh, it's dual perspective. My mother is talking, and in some cases I'm talking. Mostly her. That's a hard question to answer without really... I'd say it's because I'm not afraid to do it alone, but I'm also not afraid to ask for help. It depends on what kind of help you're looking for. If you're looking for the answer, you might be given a clue, but if you want her to solve the problem for you, she's given you the tools necessary to do that. I guess. Yeah, you can see it that way. I don't know. Do you believe, though? Or would you like to try?
Okay, I don't know if I like where this line of questioning is going.
No. I don't know enough about your origin to have a good answer for that, but so far as I'm aware, you were made with a purpose, but it's up to you and Mace to choose whether or not you want to follow that purpose or choose another. Well, I mean, I guess the question would be, did he believe in God?
And now I certainly don't like this line of questioning.
Who is she talking to now? Because
The
I thought she
hammer.
was. Okay, I was like, I thought you were just talking to Mace. Now
No,
you're
he asked
talking
me to-
to
he-
the Mace.
Yeah, I am.
Yes. We get confused all the time.
Whose? Whose exact words? Oh. It's a similar belief, but I wouldn't phrase it that way. Your choices are yours to make. If you choose to see a helping hand where there is none, that's faith. If you choose to believe no hand has ever been extended to you, that's belief in oneself. Have faith, but at times know that sometimes you have to stand on your own. Oh, you're welcome. And Kara will flip the hammer around and offer the grip back towards Mace.
What exactly did he just tell you?
He had a couple questions, and I answered them as honestly as I could.
I won't pry, but
I
or
mean,
maybe
if
not
you're-
now.
If you're curious, I'm not gonna. He didn't say not to tell you.
Then, please. I mean, I look. I'm merely concerned for his well-being.
Let's call it a crisis of faith as to whether or not, if he started. Your hammer is a he, right?
As far as I know.
Whether believing in gods would bring help when needed, or if what Dad said was true. And curious how I do both.
And you basically explained that it was a problem of perspective.
More or less.
Did he seem satisfied?
Got a lot to think about.
I mean,
You should probably talk with him more.
I suppose I will. But yeah, I mean, for now, I think we'll leave it there.
Perfect. That's totally fine. Okay, that's fine. Anyone else have anything you want to just breach topic-wise? Oh, actually, I'm sorry. There's one thing I forgot to mention. This is the reason I'm bringing it up, but I didn't fucking preface with it. Leif, while that was occurring, your sword would have simply said one thing to you, and that would have been, at least he abided by his agreement. That's the only reason I ask. You might need to sit with that for a bit, and if you do, that's totally fine. Also-
Yeah, I might have to sit with that.
That's totally okay. In that case, I'm going to just take my 7 o'clock stretch here. We are doing the long rest, and we'll come back to, the village in the morning after that.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I should have had a glass of scotch before that. That would have been much more funny of a conversation.
I am dying to know.
Well, you have half of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think I get the gist of it. It's troublesome, to say the least.
Your weapon is thinking for itself.
Mm-hmm.
At least you
More
know what the
importantly-
fuck is going on with yours. I'm confused as fuck over here.
So what has your weapon actually said to you at this point?
Stuff and that. It'll answer a question. It
Buy
wants
me more jewelry.
It wants me to prove myself to it. From my
Has
understanding.
it started singing I Need a Hero?
No, it doesn't like to talk to me. It doesn't like me. It hates me.
Well, what have you tried so far?
Well, it won't answer any questions that I asked it. Because it'll only answer one question. Or maybe it was like one question a day or something like that. Or no.
Switching to vegetable oil.
It granted me one question, and I asked it, and then, like, 2 sessions later, it was like, I'll grant you another one or something like that. And I was like, cool. Cool. Don't fuck it up this time.
Where's the nearest chili?
You asked the right question, and it gave you the right to another question.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fucking... I don't know. I know it's a girl. That's it. Thought it was a dude. It's not.
Hey, that question was cool. That was on me.
What do you say? Mine said what? That at least he abided by his agreement?
Sounds like that, yeah.
Yeah, see, this is where I get so confused. You people are so much smarter at this because you know Dungeons and Dragons. I'm like, there's a goddamn sword talking to me.
Well, the way I look at it, for me at least, in this case scenario with mace, is my weapon grants me A baseline for my backstory, and B, a lot of my powers and abilities. And so there's equal parts a level of reverence and equal parts a familiarity with it. So it's not like, you know, a god or a patron where you be like, oh my god, what can I do to appease you? It's a matter of, well, I don't understand you, but I feel close enough to have that sort of personable relationship. And that's just as a person, right? So, in your case, I don't know what kind of interactions you had with your weapon. So
Yeah, because it would be very like special to you, especially because it's like this blade was your father's or whatever. So it would be,
yeah.
like, you know, it's not.
Ooh, that's a question. I'll go ahead.
Right.
Finish.
Which
I was gonna say, so it's not gonna be like how Mace's is. I don't think it's gonna be more so of like this is a family heirloom, or at least it is now. So
Yeah.
it's like you'd want to figure out more about that. And it's like it's not so much of like if it was me, it wouldn't be as much of who are you, what do you want. It's like, so what was my father like with you? Like what was going on between the two of you?
That was
Yeah.
in line with the question I was going to ask. It's like, you can ask the sword, what made your father worthy to wield it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was. As soon as you guys started talking, I was like, what if I ask it what my father did to be worthy of having it? Yeah.
which also, where's Ares so we can turn Mallow's dad into a weapon?
How do we turn Mallow into a weapon?
This isn't Destiny. Not
I-
everything that we kill becomes a gun.
If I kill Mallow with the greatsword, does he again go into the greatsword?
You see Mallow's mask as an engraving, and now you deal necrotic damage.
I thought if I fuck that one Mallow's sister, you know, that might be a good thing to show the sword, but you know, it wasn't about it.
The thing is, you leave stuff on her, not the other way around. This is where we find out that male pregnancy exists in this universe.
Oh god.
I
Still
still
wait.
want.
You want to what?
I still want to figure out if I would be able to take take eyes off of someone and
Someone.
take eyes out of something that I kill and put them in my own face and have them work.
I mean, I can do it for you. Have them work. Ooh.
Yeah, have them work.
Well,
See, okay, I think
the
you're
turtle's
missing
gone.
the point.
I should just be like, well, it worked in Naruto.
I'm pretty sure the only reason why that even worked for any of your siblings was because it was Kara.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is you want me to cut your eyes out?
No.
Kara is basically like the perfected version of the T-virus. So if you get an insert, then it's probably gonna graft. But honestly, realistically speaking, if Mallow were to like utterly and completely defeat his dad, what happens?
I get the bracers that I want.
Sure, he's doing this for a toy, for a fashion statement.
I feel like
Okay.
honestly, at that point, it would just become I am then the hex. You know?
Sure, but like, would you continue with it? Would you dismantle it? Would you be like, yeah, this is not for me?
I would just do it the right way at that point.
What does that mean?
Not what my dad did. Not torturing, hundreds of children every day.
Well,
So
you
we
say
just send
hundreds.
letters
It was
to
just you
people
and your
before we
siblings. You
kill
just don't know
them?
how many there are.
Well, you say that at first, yeah. You don't know. You might start doing that. There's nothing wrong with that.
I have my scotch. I'm good to go.
Awesome. All right.
Good luck on your rolls.
Well,
I haven't had to roll many yet.
Oh, that'll start
I
soon.
only had to
Don't
roll
worry.
one.
That'll start soon. You staying, Kim?
Fuck.
Or is that a goodbye?
He's staying.
Good. Okay. We'll use him to play an NPC.
Okay.
No.
All right,
All right.
Kim. Get ready.
Yeah, if only. Okie dokie.
This is the new
We'll get
Goliath
Kayla. She
Timothy.
can play an NPC.
Yeah. All right. So,
Joke's on you guys. I am an NPC.
No.
Shit, he got us there.
damn, look at this guy.
He's immortal.
It's all over us. Okay, just setting
He's
up.
Slave's son.
But
Everyone knows Leif is going to have an asexual creature. He slept with a hex. Or,
I mean, did
non-gender-
I?
Sorry, gender fluid, I think is the term I meant to say. I was brain to someone else.
I mean, did I?
I had a son, but it was really a slime. That's the new isekai anime.
Yeah, I like it. Let's do it.
I mean, we have a vending machine at this point. Does it really matter?
I'm
Yeah.
assuming it is morning.
It is morning, and you would notice that a lot of the Goliaths are actually moving towards Pitch's tent, and there seems to be some sort of a commotion going on over there. Essentially, they just are all going to go and eventually kind of surround. You could just say something instead of typing it.
It's because it's an action.
Okay.
But, I mean, Kara's up doing her morning thing. She's, practicing combat swings, whatnot, but she's involving her telekinetics, so she's, like, throwing the spear while pulling the sword, basically juggling weapons as she's fighting across, back and forth.
Did you see like the marching band with the baton thing?
But that baton could turn around and whack you on its own, yeah.
Ooh, question.
You can, I can answer, yes.
Can I
No.
make my Echo Kara's test dummy, like sparring partner?
Yeah, absolutely.
I have a question.
You really need to start paying these echoes.
No. I have a question for per 2DM, but for Blake. Does his echo does it?
Well, I can just answer it for you. Me and
No,
my
no,
Echoes are
no,
very
no,
in
this
touch.
He's very in touch with himself.
We
If
touch
his-
each other. I
If
mean,
his
what?
echo if his echo learns information or learns something, does that information go
Well,
to Leif?
Blake, why don't you tell him about the special new ability that you unlocked at level 7?
Well, so normally, no. If I just make an Echo and it goes around a corner where I can't see it and then gets told information, it would have to come tell me as a separate person. But,
Okay.
oh, this one's down here. Sparring with her. But as a level 7 entrepreneur in this game, I can. Fuck, what's it called?
I think it's an action, so it should be pretty high up on it, but I don't remember what it's called.
I'm looking at it right
Oh,
now.
Echo Avatar. So I can transfer my consciousness to it. That's what I did the other time when I just kind of passed out and then ran up onto the hill and looked for the Yeti. And I am seeing through the eyes of it and everything. I can hear everything. And so then I would know everything, but only during that.
Correct.
Oh god, your level 10 ability is gonna be fun. You get suicide echoes.
Yes, you do.
Yeah. I've been waiting for that one.
Because I was trying to think, you'd be able to learn things at a drastically higher pace.
Yeah, so
That
they did.
also,
They technically accounted for it with that thing. He has to be unconscious himself to be able to accept the
Yeah.
information from the other. But yes, I do
Is
get
that-
what you're going for.
Yeah, I'm just imagining Leif, and he just has a book, and it's just ripped in half, and it's just like
I wouldn't even say that. It's like literally just Leif is walking around himself, or one over the other, we'll say. But it's just two Leifs. One's got the sword out, constantly fighting. The other one's just standing there with a book, reading the entire time, just constantly, like literally in the middle of battle, just flipping pages, not giving a shit.
I'm a
Go to Leif.
sorcerer
You
now.
can understand. I'm learning magic.
He's
Next
just
thing you know, he
reading
drops a
about
fucking
fighting.
yeah, drops a fireball on someone.
Yeah. No, I'm sitting there learning about attacks, and I'm like, use an upper thrust. Yes, much better.
Yeah. You found the Fiore guide to great
Yeah.
sword fighting, or to actually technically it would be Montante fighting in that regard.
I'm like, he dies. I'm like, you should have parried there.
No,
And
yeah,
I
you
just
missed. You
make
fucked
another
up.
echo.
You gotta go more for the rose next time. Then you gotta do some finesse with the yeah, okay, that looks like that. Now you push aside and thrust. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
dead guy. There you go.
Monkey grabs nuts. Do it.
Yeah, exactly. Kick him in the balls.
I supposed to yell
takes
Falcon
grapes.
Punch before that?
Yeah. I have found the great African fighting technique of hit him in the coconuts.
Grab his dick and twist it.
Yeah,
Hey man, if you're
Exactly.
going to do that, it is Caribbean.
that's fair. No, the Caribbean technique is the limbo. You can't hit them; they dodge everything.
I see the Futurama reference you have made. You are technically correct.
The best kind of correct. 2 in a row. There you go.
I know. I did that on purpose.
All right. So regardless, yeah, you guys would start your morning routines, and eventually, out the door of Petch's hut, you would see he kind of comes walking with Magnus in tow. He has Magnus's hands behind his back, not necessarily tied as far as you can tell, but one of his massive hands is definitely gripping down on Magnus's. And the Tiefling is just throwing up a storm, just
Don't listen. You know this is not. It would not have been me. This makes no sense. Also, he was there.
he points backwards, and the Virtuoso at the same time is just kind of like yawning as he's walking out, just, I don't know what's happening, but it's probably bad, isn't it? And Petch is just,
Oh no, it could not be him. He loves the music. He's never one who loves music who do wrong thing. But you, I have known you to do wrong thing. So we will bring you out in front of all for trial.
and he just walks and puts, kind of kicks Magnus down in front of the Goliaths who are up, and then he just kind of looks over at the party, and he just sees to see if you guys are going to approach or do your own thing.
Echo disappears. The fuck? Oh. Oh shit, something's happening.
They've walked too far. I love it.
So what he steal?
Are you asking that out loud?
Yes.
Okay, so Mace walks over behind a couple Goliaths and just, they like move their arms aside just enough for you to see, because you definitely cannot see over their shoulders.
Right.
But yeah, you ask out what he steal, and the Goliath, Pecha, kind of points at you, just,
Oh, this one no. Did he try and steal from you too? He make many claim last night that he worked for God now, and he only steal when necessary. But yes, listen, hard for old dog to change to new trick. Yes.
Can vouch to the talks to God part?
Really?
Yeah,
I thought you said he no speak to same God as you. How would you know?
'cause I spoke with my God and she confirmed.
looks down at the Tiefling.
Okay, it's one thing you not lie about. It's good no. It's good no. Actually, to be honest, kind of believe one, because robes do not fit you. He's not good for personality that you have. Sorry, Magnus.
He's just,
Well, that was the point.
Come on.
We know
Yes,
his
but-
type. But
Are you saying because I'm a tiefling? Because that's racist, you fuck.
well,
I mean, I see a red soul, if that helps.
your words, not mine.
God damn it! Everywhere I go, can't escape the persecution. Literally work for a fucking god. Still
Well, I mean,
can't
his-
escape the
his-
persecution.
His soul's kind of orange, so,
Is that
you talking about Pecha?
His
the
is
second one?
orange, his is red.
Okay.
there's a pill for that?
Oh,
I don't know,
God.
looking at his soul is like
Virtuoso.
looking directly into the sun. It hurts.
He's just gonna sit down, kind of against the wall. He's just, I gotta tell you, it takes a lot more out of me than you'd think doing all those spells while I'm playing the music. So can I just not be involved? And the Goliath looks down at him and,
No, he's going to probably be necessary. You know what happened, yes?
yeah, I think so.
Okay,
So, what happened?
he took thing.
And that's
What was the thing?
Oh, he's Jim. He's basically long-standing proof of one in charge of Ruslan name. So technically one who has Jim right now in charge of Ruslan clan. would make sense that friend Magnus would wish to do so. He liked going for power grab. I have not done that in years, okay? And it honestly was only the one time the one time you know about, okay? The other times were before I met you, and it shouldn't count.
So, if he took the gem, where would it be?
Well, he's not on his person as searched. But, I don't know. That is going to be next step. For now, we'll be put here and let others watch.
And that's actually when a couple other Goliaths start to step out of their huts. They
Kara
kind of
will
quickly surround. Go ahead.
look to Mace. You know Zone of Truth?
I do. Do we think that he'll be able to withstand it?
I mean, it's either that or we watch him get executed, I guess.
Well, I was kind of looking forward to Goliath interrogation techniques, but your idea might be good.
A couple other Goliaths also approach at this point, just so you all know. And they do kind of call out, and they just say, essentially a woman, kind of is the first one to call out, just,
Pitya, there has been thing taken from house.
and then, another guy comes, Pitya, there is been thing taken from house. And then a third comes up, and he just looks out at the three of them, looks down at Magnus. What you do with them?
I have not done anything. I'm an innocent man, and you goddamn know it. I wouldn't be this sloppy.
Please lift to be seen. What is missing? And the three just quickly call out. One of them is missing a comb. She says it's made of bone, and it's kind of been scrimshawed, so there's like carvings in it. Another one is missing a dagger that's an antique dagger. He says that hopefully whoever stole it is not trying to use it because it's not functional and most likely will break. And then the third person says they are missing an amulet that essentially is akin to a tooth on a string. It holds sentimental value, and that's about it. But it is through missing items, and Pecha, of course, has mentioned his gem.
Is Kara no find object?
That is not one of the ones I know. I actually don't know if that's one of the ones I can learn.
I feel like if it is, it's one of the ones you're getting next level. The one time I throw a scenario at you where it'd be useful, and you're gonna be like, God damn it, I didn't have it.
I can learn find traps, and I can learn locate object.
Find traps. I feel like that would be Kara just being like, now I need to fucking worry about that bitch.
And I can get the spell locate object. But,
Actually, no, I'm sorry. I take my initial comment back. Kara learning find trap is literally her opening a little like book, or however the rangers learn the spells, and she's just going, trap me once, shame on you. Trap me twice, shame on me.
Throw the book at you.
Trap me three times, I'm gonna cut your fucking head off.
Trap me 3 times, shame of society?
Yeah, I guess. Just like, I can totally see her stewing over it. Ain't losing another goddamn ear.
I'm gonna.
Although technically Kara has lost 2 ears.
Only one.
You lost your sister. That was the joke. Sister ear.
Only one. She's not dead. She just went back.
Fair. Oh, God. Anyway, so I heard something about a Zone of Truth. Is that something that we're stepping forward with, or are we going to wait?
I mean, yeah, it's a plan. Whether or not it'll work is yet to be seen, but yeah, let's try Zone of Truth. So
I mean, if he's not lying, that'd tell.
Yeah,
so I'll just cast it.
Okay.
15
So,
radius.
who exactly is it that you are trying to... Is it just centered on him, like focused on him, or are you trying to grab a couple other people?
So,
has a radii if he's placed.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm aware. That's kind of why I'm curious how he's going to place it. It's totally fine however he wants to do it. So
15-foot radius circle. Let's do that. And I'll step over here. Or even... Oh, here's right there. Okay.
Yeah, they're all in front
Yeah,
of
I
you.
mean, this is good.
So you kind of want to put it there. So most of the... Okay, so it would be most of the party, Virtuoso, most of the Goliaths, Pecha. Okay. So I know it's still only creatures of your choice, right? I just kind of wanted to see what you could
I'll
choose.
affect everyone because there's no reason not to.
Not to? Sure. Okay. First I'm going to turn Charisma saving throw. Okay. So I'm just going to do this. Do over here. We go
God damn
to
it.
the character sheets. So,
That would be the zone.
oh, I'm sorry. Mace has it up already, but yes, that is correct.
Yep.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
Oh.
He has it on himself. Okay, so there's
Gotcha.
that, and then I'm just gonna do 2 rolls from you. Charisma save, you said.
Yes. And I guess the question being asked is,
And then just let me check something. On a failed save.
did anyone here take the items in question?
Do you know if they succeed or fail? Does it matter? You
Um,
know whether each creature succeeds or fails. Okay.
I do, yes.
All right. Sorry. So just I missed your question because I wasn't sure about that. So go ahead. If you could start over on the question for me.
No, I just asked if anyone present here knows about the whereabouts of the aforementioned items.
Most of the Goliaths simply shrug and
No, he is not. We want to find. It's something we look for. Yeah, that's why we're here. Yes.
and you would tell that pretty much every Goliath has failed the save, so they are all telling the truth.
Mm-hmm.
There's like 1 or 2
What
that,
about my
haven't,
beloved
but
party members?
yeah. So actually that's fair. Are you doing all of your party members as well?
Oh, yes.
Okay, so I need Mallow to do a charisma save, and Leif as well. Kara, it looks like saved, so you
Succeeded,
would know
yeah.
that. Pecha, of course, answers pretty readily as well with his brethren.
I know nothing of where the Jim has gone. I have general idea of where he's gone. But he's now job to figure out. Unless it sounds like you are willing to do so. So in this case, since has stepped up and asked, is now your challenge. You wish to not see friend Magnus die horrible, horrible death? Then figure out what has happened.
And he has failed as well, so he's 100% truthful.
I did not think it was, misleading in any way.
And then at that point,
How about Leif and Mallow? How are
They
you
are-
guys answering?
yeah, that's up to you guys, but you have most certainly failed, so you have to be truthful.
What items are we looking for again exactly?
There's a gemstone. I believe, Chris, you'll have to remind me on this because I actually don't have notes on what it was. It was what, a sapphire of some sort?
it was a tarnished sapphire
Yeah.
necklace,
And then
and it held almost no monetary value.
Value,
It was
right.
just pretty.
right, and much along the same line, the other items that were missing were a comb made of bone that was scrimshawed, so it had carvings on it, but it was generally not worth money. A dagger that was an antique, but not functional, and an amulet that was akin to a tooth on a string, kind of similar to Petch's. So, 3 items that seem like, 4 items that seem mostly to have like sentimental value as far as you could tell, but they are missing items.
I don't know shit about shit.
Mallow has failed the save, so you would know he's telling the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Leif, how about you?
I didn't see anyone take anything. We were
That
all
was not the
by the
question.
bar.
He was telling the truth about what he said, though.
Yeah.
And you would know that, so.
Oh, yeah. I'm saying that is not the question. Do you know about the current location of those items?
I do not.
Okay. Now finally, I guess I will turn to the Tiefling and ask.
So
Do
you can
you-
tell immediately as you turn to him that he has passed the save. It seems as if your spell was almost completely ineffective against him, almost as if the magic didn't even attempt to take hold. But he
Interesting.
does seem to stare directly in your eyes, and with a very intentional kind of measurement to his voice.
I have not taken a single thing from anybody here outside of perhaps a touch on the girl's chest.
Pointing at Kara.
Wait, last night or were we talking about a while
In
back?
general, I'm sorry. I just meant as a general statement. I have not taken anything from anyone here except for a touch of her chest.
Shrugs.
Unfortunately, my magic does not seem to be taking hold on him.
Yes,
So I
so,
couldn't even tell you if that's
I'm
the
going
case.
to not lie. I did feel it attempt to, but I don't know if it was something from me or something from my god. There was interference. I mean, you could try again if you wish. I did not intend to to have that happen.
And just as a background note so that you understand what's happening here, he rolled a critical save.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I'm just kind of having it be a little more overdone than a normal.
Yeah. No, don't worry about it. either way, I understand that gods. He just like sort of slurs the word. Are
Mace says it like a racial slur.
Yeah.
Gods.
um are meddlesome like that. So I won't attempt again, lest I waste what remains of my magic. But actually, I would like to roll an insight check.
Go for it. Absolutely. And Kara, was that perception check supposed to be seeing if you thought he was lying, or was that for something else?
That was just to gauge his facial expression.
Yeah, as far as you can tell, he was trying his utmost to be forward. Is probably the best way to put it. I don't want to say,
Insight sucks ass, but
I would say with a 15 insight, you would feel very similarly to Kara that he was trying to get across to you. This is what he's sticking with at a minimum. Like you see with his on his face, this is what's the word I want to? I'm missing. My brain is blanking on the term, but it's not necessarily sticking with the story. This is what he's trying to get across to you, that this is what he believes, and you don't think he's likely to change his story.
This.
Well, it's not even that he believes it per se, but you don't believe he is going to change his story. You think you could ask him until you're blue in the face, and this is the same story the same thing he will basically say every time. He seems very diehard in that answer. Now, whether or not it's true is very tough to tell. Is the best way to put it.
Right, of course. Well, I'll let go of the spell, I guess. And
no static electricity, Chris. If you do actually want to talk to Freya, are you doing that out loud, or are you just writing in your head? What's the?
That would be an in my head conversation.
Okay. I'm not going to jump us down, but you would actually feel a tingle, a response, and basically Freya would ask, "What is it you need?"
Number you're trying to reach.
No, she's there.
Hey, can you talk to, I don't remember his deity's name, whoever, and kind of just you can see this, right? Just
I can sense the things that are near you. There is another soul blessed by a god nearby, if that is what you mean.
Yeah, can you get in touch with that deity and see if she can tell us if he's telling the truth or not?
I
Is that a reach?
believe that it is within my capacity. Not because I can't talk to other gods, but this one is... It looks like a god of the realm that you are currently in. I would have to cross the boundary to that realm myself, and as I have explained to you before, my dear, if I was to do that, it may cause irreparable damage to that land.
Yeah, no, I remember. Shit. Alright, thanks.
No problem. Good luck. Click.
Remember to take your vitamins, sweetie.
It's just,
Kara just takes out a silver coin and deposits it into a coin slot.
I was actually going to say the opposite. Kara, hits the phone, you just hear the chink. As, the 3 silver coins that were floating in the air suddenly disappear.
Kara eats the quarter.
Oh, God. That's when we learned that she's actually just been schizophrenic this whole time. The wings aren't even real.
Yes.
The party members aren't real.
We
Shutter Island this shit.
Oh god. Fracture minds, just...
The whole thing's fake. You're actually in an insane asylum the whole time.
Butterfly effect.
Yeah. But what are we thinking next?
Well, I will be honest here. If this is a godly issue, if a representative of whatever gods he's allegedly serving dies, I think it's the god's problem. So...
Oh.
If anything was said to me, I was changing my battery.
No. You're good, bro.
Is that a euphemism?
I hope so.
Well,
I had to pop the one out of my butt and put a new one in.
Okay, good.
Kara would look around and be like, who was on guard last night?
Yes, over here. What can do?
Well, did you see anybody leave Petch's tent?
You've not seen leave anyone Pitch's tent, but usually we do good job not paying attention to Pitch's tent in case womenfolk wish sleep in.
Sure, but you would have also seen people walking around to other tents too, right?
I look outside more for other external problem, not internal. For example, did not pay any attention to any of you last night. Assumed would be safe.
Okay. Well, that's that idea.
I'm not liking what I'm seeing.
Oh, I could always go. What the fuck is that?
What the hell is even that?
Sir Petcha, we are wondering, what is all of the commotion? You promised us that it would be quieter than this.
And you would all see as a party approaches. Seems to be 3 people. 2 who look like relatively seasoned veterans. One of them is wearing quite a heavy set of armor. The other is heavily cloaked, and actually kind of tough to tell, more than the fact that they are wearing armor beneath the cloak, but you can't really see what weapons or how many. And they're just kind of approaching from the south. Petra looks over, and he actually kind of gives them a general wave, and he just kind of goes,
Oh, Angie. Sorry. We have issue. And also did kind of forget was here due to fact you have not shown self in while. How is do? Everything okay?
and the girl from behind the 2 finally steps past them, and she locks eyes with him, and you can she bats her eyelashes. Kara, you would tell very easily that she's kind of giving a flirty sort of glance at him, right?
Oh, I know that look.
And she's
Oh, Petcha, it's totally fine. We didn't want to disturb. You all seem to be having so much fun. It was a little bit inconvenient for our research, but we figured we'd let it go. But we can't really be. Well, it's very difficult to not be able to work last night and then also be interrupted this morning. So, if you could maybe disperse whatever this gathering is.
and he's just
We will solve soon. Is problem for us. We will figure. Do not worry.
Are we gonna get
So,
introduced or?
who they?
they're gonna let you just ask if you want it or approach yourself and giving you options. And actually, you would notice that especially Magnus, he also is looking over.
Yes, I'm very interested to know who exactly are they, Petcha. Did you find yourself a little lady friend?
And
Kara
he
will
turns
descend
around.
and land next to Magnus. This is probably not the best
Oh,
way
it's
to
actually
go.
this is probably the perfect time. Trust me, I know exactly how this is going to go.
And he's grinning very hard at Petra, and Petra just looks down.
Magnus, I hate to break. I am not you. Literally almost every woman in village is lady friend of mine. If wish to sleep with, they would be happy to do so. Even married ones. Her and her, he points to 2 women in the crowd. He says, their husbands literally have told me they would be happy to watch. We are strange culture, but it works for us. You'll not understand. I have no need for women here.
And Kara, your perception, you could tell that this girl that he's called Angie very much seems a little depressed by his statement there, but it doesn't seem to dissuade her in any way. So you can almost tell, if anything, she's kind of used to these sorts of statements, or the fact that what he's saying is something that she's seen as an evident truth already. Magnus feels your pet on the shoulder, and he just kind of very dexterously warms his hand up. And let me just set a DC for you, because I'm sure you're not going to want to let him grab your hand to try and lace his fingers through it.
That's going to be a hell of a reach for him to go up and grab that while Petcha still got him bound by both
Petra
hands.
does not have him bound. Notice they're separated from each other at this point. He has him surrounded, so he doesn't really feel the need to. But yeah, if you want to stop him from doing so, you'll need probably a sleight of hand higher than a 23.
I can only hit a 23, so unless I crit this, he's going to do whatever he's doing.
Yeah, at least it's nothing too crazy. It's just he kind of snakes his hand up and interlaces his fingers with yours.
Thank you, my dear. I always knew you had my back.
Do you want me to help you, or do you want me to watch? Pick one.
Instantly just lets you hang on.
Sorry, it is more of a force of habit. It's just looking for someone, okay? I don't want to be alone my whole life.
But you're not. You have your deity.
The Virtuoso is like, fuck me, right?
The Virtuoso, if anything, is still just kind of I'm really tired. Really wish we weren't doing this. I hate when he gets in trouble like this, because usually one of 2 things happens. It gets solved in a way that I hate, or we have to flee town.
Context?
Oh, too much, my dear. I couldn't name one. Magnus, at this point, he actually almost has this look of this proud look on his face to a degree, where he's like, my reputation precedes me. Regardless,
Yeah, well,
though.
your reputation is fucking you with your best friend right now.
I think you're actually misunderstanding what's happening here. I figured it out a moment ago, and I'm not going to say that I'm happy about it, but
He leans in close to you. and he just simply whispers,
This is actually more for you than me.
and just leans back.
Squints eyes.
He nods, not nods, but kind of just gestures his head towards Pecha. Kind of raises his eyebrows like, not on me.
So, your other guests,
Oh,
what are they doing?
You mean them? Angie, you want to introduce yourself or want me to?
And the woman will kind of walk forward, and she, steps up here, and the Virtuoso kind of gives her a little bow. And the two guards behind her, you can see, are very, like, they step forward, and they're kind of almost about to charge him. But he doesn't approach her or anything, so they leave it be, and she just gives a little curtsy. It's a blonde girl. She seems pretty young, probably under 20 by your estimate. She's wearing very heavy clothes, but even under them, you can tell that it's like a very fancy gown that she has on. She still maintains a very kind of upper class demeanor, is the best way to put it. And she just kind of, like I said, she curtsies, and she says,
I am Evangeline von Houten. It's great to meet you. Although I do not quite know who any of you are. These two are my companions, Dern and Squall. Well, I guess you could say they're both my guards and somewhat my associates. I've come to this land to learn what I could about the everlasting winter and the people here who overcome it. You see, I met Pecha back when he was traveling up and down the Sword Coasts, and
she kind of, like, blushes very heavily.
I very much fell for him. He has been a constant source of light in my life, showing what people can overcome if they only put their minds to it. For a woman like myself who has lost everything, I yearned to finally be able to overcome my problems in the same way he can.
Oh, it was the Greek guy who was trapped by the boulder that he had to keep pushing.
Oh, Sisyphus, right?
Yeah. The Sisyphus
Oh, is that
exercise
right? Oh,
would
you're
probably help.
right.
The ultimate fitness test, continuously to push the boulder.
Yeah, right. Yes, it was that. Okay. Yeah. So, but after that, she kind of steps back and just.
I did not mean to interrupt, by the way. What is exactly occurring?
And you just he patches.
Oh, it's easy. A friend here has taken things from several of us, and we now put to death. Unless the others here,
And he points out, Kara, Leif, Mace, and Mallow.
unless they wish to stop, we'll give them chance. They can look around, do whatever they wish, talk to whoever wish, see what happens.
Arrow will look to the group. Well, it's a vote.
So what's she trying to do?
Yeah.
If
we help
if
him,
you
or
guys
do
want to
we
help
do
or not.
nothing?
Yeah, she's putting it to a vote.
To
if you
help
wanna
the
or
whole
not.
issue? Yeah, I mean, I thought we were already in the middle of that.
You have been put to the challenge, but theoretically none of you have agreed to doing anything. So Kara is basically asking, are we doing that or not?
I'd say so. And they've at least welcomed us. We should help them.
Sure.
Okay. Looks to Petra. And how much time do we get?
I mean, honestly, as much as you need. I can kill him anytime. He's probably not too hard. I mean, unless you put up fight. You meant to put up fight?
Of course I'm going... Listen, if you actually come at me seriously, I'm putting up a fucking fight. What are you talking about?
Okay, he put up fight, might take a little longer.
So basically as much time as you want. Just
Okay.
This is pretty free form in terms of my intention is I'm gonna let the party try and solve it however they want, and if you guys can prove yourselves by doing so, then you'll have impressed the Ruslan clan.
So what are we trying to do?
Find these items.
Yes.
Well, I guess Chris's find item would have been wonderful at this point.
He doesn't have that. It's just
I don't
find
have
trap.
that spell.
It would have been find trap is what he could have had. So
Oh, I'm
You know.
sorry. I thought he had like locate item or something
so
like that.
so
It-
anytime
there's a
that your
spell I
sister
could
tries to come at you guys
potentially
again, you can be ready.
We all have.
Locate- I can
We
do
all-
locate slut. It's fine.
Locate slut. I
my
feel like that's more of
God.
a life skill, honestly.
Jesus
Yeah.
No,
Christ.
that's locate fish.
Locate fish. Oof.
Well, it's locate fish until I start drinking, and then it becomes locate slut.
It's a dynamic spell.
Oh, it's part of his orc heritage.
Oh yeah.
Wonderful. Oh god. All right. Regardless, yeah. So feel free, anyone who wants to, whatever you think you guys want to do. At some point, I will say, the three of these three that are over here, they do kind of, regroup and head back down towards these tents. And they all just kind of convene in the largest one, it looks like. As far as you see, just so you know where they are.
I would whistle for my most ardent husky follower.
Steve comes running on over. Yeah, what's up? What do you do?
Give this tent a sniff, see if there's one scent that doesn't belong to anyone here.
He walks right on over and he snorts
I was gonna
heavily
say
in
this
the tent.
starts sniffing everyone's asshole
Well,
first.
and that's the thing. He starts walking around the tent, sniffing, and he walks back out, and he walks right over to Pecha, and he sniffs his crotch. And he's like, this one lives there. And he walks over to the Virtuoso, and he sniffs his crotch. He's like, this one stayed there. And then he walks over to Magnus and sniffs his crotch. This one also stayed there. They're new, but they just stayed there. What else you need?
Anyone that doesn't belong, or anyone that's smell in there that you don't find here?
Yeah, there's one more. It's this way. And he walks around like the outside, and he walks around like the whole outside of the tent like 2 or 3 times, and then in the door, and then out of the door. And then I don't know whose it is.
Which way did they go?
I don't know.
So they just walked circles around the tent and went in?
After here, it's no more.
Alright, thank you, Steve. Gives him a piece of jerky.
Steve takes the jerky and sits. Want to help? Stay here.
Oh, good boy.
What did he say? Did he find it?
Says there's a smell that didn't belong. Walked in the tent, walked out of the tent, and kept walking around the tent.
Well, I guess we just have to search the tents and maybe the people.
That or someone is adept at muscles over there. It's going through the ice and back up without making any noise.
Oh,
That's
not
not
make
that
noise
hard.
on ice easy. This ice heavy.
He like slams his foot down on the ice and it doesn't crack.
But is interesting was able to walk past me while asleep. I still very good at not being, how say, surprised. That's why I figured was friend Magnus was already there, could wake up, could grab, could go back sleep. No, he is good at go sneaky, figured was fitting. But as he say, we'll be honest, because don't want to let friend Magnus seem disappointment in front of all friends. He is, not one to be this sloppy, as he has said. He is definitely out of character, as would say. Thank you for at least admitting that. Is no problem.
I want to look at Mallow over here and like kind of quietly just be like, maybe you should go check out those outsider tents, since you do have a bit of more softness in your step than I do.
I'm gonna sneak away. Go look at
Just hear
these
the Pink
tents.
Panther music.
You know who directed the Pink Panther movies?
Like Edwards.
Yes, he did. You know what my name is? Fucking Blake Edwards. Fun fact of the day. All right. No,
And then
anyways,
you spent all the money you made on that movie on just beer. That's amazing.
There was liquor. There was some liquor.
Oh,
too.
okay,
Don't-
that's fair.
Guns.
Jeez, I'm
And
not a
guns.
chi-
You know
I'm
what?
not a child.
was your
I'm
name,
sorry,
at
I
least?
forgot
No,
the
it's not.
knives.
I do have a lot
Also,
of knives.
I do
too.
feel like I need to send you guys this because I think it is very fitting. This was the song that Blake originally was going to get for Leif during the show.
Slam of God. What is it?
Hold on. Perfect. So I will tell you. I was going to say this before you rolled, so that you were kind of aware of it beforehand. But Kara, if he rolls under your passive perception, you'll at least see that he kind of stealths. You won't know where he goes. You just know that he snuck away.
It is indeed under my passive perception.
so
but
you'll
I'm
know
not
he-
questioning it.
Yeah, you'll know he's gone. You just don't know where. But yeah. So which one are you trying to enter first?
I'm gonna enter the small one first.
Yeah. So the north or the south of the small.
North.
Okay. I've got to draw.
I'm just imagining like an Ace Ventura Pet Detective entrance where like the head pops through the sheets, looks around
yeah.
real quick.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
my head. But the thing is that my head gets really, really tiny to go through a really small hole, and then gets back to normal size.
on the other side. Yeah, like
On the
basically
other
you're a
side?
cartoon
Perfect.
character. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the way I'm gonna do it. You. That didn't work.
I see a giant map. I've grown thousands of feet.
You see a giant map. Do you?
I'm making it. I see a map right now.
Are you on in a tent? Yeah. Okay.
No, I'm in East Haven. I see East
Did it-
Haven map.
It dragged you to the wrong one. What the fuck? Un momento.
Okay.
Also, it is being it's just being funny for me. One sec.
I just walked over to Kara and just
you-
told her
now you
that
should be on the
Mallow's
right
going
one.
down to look at them.
And then I need to put this
Good
also
call.
there. Yeah, it didn't
I'm
work
gonna
at all.
search the trunks and all that kind of stuff, as well as the bedding.
Yeah, we'll do that in just a sec. I just got to get my camera to follow you. There we go. All right, so just put yourself in at the south side,
Oh God.
and yeah. So do me a favor, as you enter, just do another stealth roll with advantage. This will just, every time that you kind of do a action, you're gonna have to re-roll the stealth. Okay,
23.
perfect, totally fine. So yeah, so you walk in, you have your normal movement. We're gonna go kind of in an action order. No necessarily like initiative per se, but just, you search something, that's gonna be an action. So then you'll have to re-stealth and then go to another thing. It's just to take a couple turns so that we can have some time pass is all. So yeah, which objects do you want to go to first? Do you want to try and search first? What are you thinking?
Okay, I'm gonna check this one first. This,
You know what? Actually, there's really no reason for me to hide this from you guys. I'm just doing this kind of dumb. I'm actually gonna put you back with the party for 1 second, Mallow.
I can't believe you.
I'm gonna switch everybody here. I'm not. I
Oh
wasn't
my
thinking.
god.
It makes more sense for everyone to be here.
So much bigger inside.
Something like that. It's kind of hard to see, right? All right. So yeah, you said you're searching the chest first. Was that what I heard?
Yep.
Yeah. So what's your plan? Just gonna open and search?
I would like to see if it's trapped in any way.
Okay. So I need an investigation check.
Oh God.
I feel your pain.
Yes, you do.
15. I didn't mean to do it at advantage, but
No, you're good.
15.
First number.
First one.
It's okay. Yeah, so you lean in close over the chest. You start looking around for anything that might seem like a trap. As far as you can tell, there doesn't seem to be any sort of, wires or trigger switches or anything. You kind of lift the lid ever so slightly, look for anything that might, kind of pop down and activate something, and nothing seems to. It's not even really locked as far as you can tell. When you open it up, just need another investigation roll to search through the contents.
9.
Yep. So you open it up, and you're really kind of more focused on worrying about traps. So you're kind of rooting around things very carefully. You're just barely picking things up and moving them, not too far, just to make sure you don't trigger anything that might be trapped in the chest. But for as much as you can tell, it seems to just be personal effects. Things like clothing. There's like a toothbrush in there. A hairbrush as well. Just general effects, personal effects.
Would I have been able to tell if this was like female stuff or males?
You would actually see it to be very unisex. The clothing is all just pants and shirts, but you would say, more like tunics, right? So it's not really something that's necessarily worn individually by one sex or another. In terms of effects, like I said, there's a hairbrush, there's a mirror, there's a toothbrush, but all of them are pretty basic. You really can't read as if, it's not like a mirror with an ivy border around it or something that you might think is a little more feminine.
None of the giants have hair, right?
Correct.
So then,
well, actually, I mean, there are. I shouldn't say that. The one that you've been generally talking to with no shirt has no hair. The others in the Goliath group are kind of much more varied. The women definitely have hair mostly, but some of them are short-haired, some are long-haired. There are other men who are shaved head. It's much more frequent among them, but there's also men that have hair as well.
Okay.
But it's this hairbrush in general does not seem like it would be built for the size of them, if that's what you're trying to consider as if it's theirs or not. It's smaller. It looks more like it would be for your hand.
Okay.
6 foot versus 9 feet.
All right. Then I'll go check the other one.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. So you start heading that way. So just how do you search this one? What's your intention here?
I'm just gonna open it up and look inside. I'm not worried about traps.
Yep. Okie doke. So you throw that one open. Go ahead and give me an investigation roll. The DC on this will be a little lower since it's the only thing you're focusing on. So, and a crit as well. So in this chest you find actually a whole assortment of things that are much more warborn. So you find, daggers, axes. You actually find little vials of what you assume to be poison. You find like hunting traps. You find arrows, darts. Just what basically you would assume.
Do all the daggers just look normal, not the one that we're looking for?
Great question. So I was about to say, As you're searching through it, one of the daggers that is in the chest seems to stand out from the rest. It's far more ornate, and as you pick it up, you can feel that the weight of it, it's weighted heavily towards the blade. And you, especially as someone trained to be an assassin, you know your knives, you know your pointy ends of things pretty well.
I
No
just
knife
turn
would
into
ever be.
Riddick
Yeah,
and
no.
start spinning
Sure.
it around.
Sure. But no knife would ever be balanced like this. It's just there's way too much weight forward, and if anything, you think it means that it's very likely that the handle is just is separate from the blade. And you kind of remember back to what the Goliaths said about the missing knife not being functional, and you're like, yeah, this is probably not a functional knife.
I'm gonna put that like in my back strap underneath my cloak.
Yep. Okay.
And then I'm going to make my. Is that what's that barrel? Is that barrel just like? Does that have a lid?
It's two barrels in front of you. Yeah, they both have lids technically, but the one to your right, I guess, the east is a better way, but it has a lantern on top of it.
Okay, can I check the southwest one?
Yep. Just give me another investigation roll for that barrel.
11.
So you pop the lid of that barrel open, and actually just by smell alone can tell that this is just
Fish.
a barrel of provisions. Yeah, food.
Okay.
It's actually mostly dried fruits and dried meats, but it's provisions. I mean, you don't even have to search through it. You can tell like without open any bags or anything. That's what it is.
Okay, and the table, is there papers on it, or is that just, or is there legitimate papers on it, or is that just a map?
Legitimate papers, as far as you
Okay,
can tell. You haven't searched to see what's on them. It might be a map, but it is papers.
Okay, I'm gonna go over there and look at those.
Yep. So just give me a perception check. It's very low DC. Don't worry. Just making sure you don't fail outright. Yeah. So yeah, you look at them. You do see one is a map. And it's actually a map, and it seems to have pretty detailed notes about the location that you're at. And not only the location you're at, but several locations around. They're kind of almost marked as if they were points of interest, but they don't have anything written in terms of actual interesting things there. It's more, Goliaths went here, fished. Goliaths went here, found deer. Goliaths went over here, found plants that they said were edible. So it's more like a kind of a record of things that they've seen in the area and just where they can go if they need those things. The other
So pretty much just so it's a map just with like, hey, if
a
we
map
need
and
things,
notes. Yeah, a map and
Okay.
notes. Yeah, is the best way to put it. This is concerning that stuff. Yeah.
So I was looking for a pen to write things down, and then so I was.
You're good.
That's why I wasn't.
Always good, my friend.
So it's with notes like find provision stuff or whatever.
It would help you to locate them in this area. You think, if what's written is true, it seems like notes about where the Goliaths here tend to go for certain things. So yeah.
Okay. Can I make a perception check to see if there's anything out of the ordinary around here? Because I already found the dagger.
Yeah, absolutely. Go for it.
Nope.
So
shit.
Yeah, you're just very focused on the details, and you're kind of overlooking anything in general out in the open. So nothing catches your eye at this point.
All right, I'm going to make my way to the exit and stealth.
Yep. Give me another stealth roll. I'll put you back at the village.
23.
Yep, another 23 is good. Okay. So let me just
I want to make my way to the smaller tent.
Yep, absolutely. You can go to the other small tent. And
Oh. Okay.
Now, is the cat alive or dead?
so
About to be dead.
where are you going first? What's your intention here?
Is the cat alive or dead?
You're stealthed right now, so it's kind of hard for it for you to tell unless you approach it or it sees you. If it would see you, I guess is probably the better way to phrase that.
I'm going to cast silence inside of here.
Okay. Silence. Can you hit the button for it, and I'll just measure out a circle. It's a sphere of 20 feet, 20-foot radius, 40 foot wide. Okay, so where's the point that you want to start it? Just kind of in the middle?
Let me measure. Yeah. Just sort of, I guess, just like here.
Yeah, pretty much the center of the place, I think, is going to give you...
Yeah.
So that should be 40 there, and then... It's pretty much the whole thing as far as I can tell.
Oh, wait. Can I cast it on me? For any creature or object for the duration, casting time, range, area, concentration.
Okay, so here's what I need you to do. You have the spell Darkness. Hit Darkness quick. So if you look at Darkness, if the point you choose is on an object you are holding or one that isn't being worn or carried, the darkness emanates from the object and moves with it. Because Silence does not say that, Silence just stays at a point. There are spells that specify it, was my point of showing you that. So like if you had used Darkness on yourself, then yes, it would move with you if you put it on an object with you, but Silence does not.
But I also can't see through the darkness.
Correct. No, you're absolutely right. And I'm not saying that Darkness would have been a better option. I just was using that to show that there is like an effect that spells have it written out for. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to go look at the stuff on the table.
Absolutely. Okay. So go on in and give me an investigation roll.
Fantastic. I did not mean to do
that
again.
You're good.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's fine. It happens because of your stealth. It's always first number in that regard. Yeah, so you start investigating these sheets, and you actually would notice that they at first seem to be identical to the ones in the other room, at least in terms of the information that's contained in them. And then you move to the journal that's on the right side of the desk here, and I just need you to remind me, what is it language-wise that you read, or that you can speak? Yeah.
Yep. Common, Deep, Dwarvish, Elvish, and Giant.
Okay, so... This is in Common. You can tell that there's something weird about the way it's written, though, especially with your investigation roll.
Is it
As
similar
you're
to any
through,
dialects that I've
It's not
seen?
similar to dialects that you've seen. However, you do feel there is a very odd familiarity to this, and I'm going to say especially with your crit. You come to realize very quickly that there is likely some sort of a coded message here. You kind of think back, especially to your training with your father, and you remember there was a time he had tried to spend with you teaching you Thieves' Cant. And a lot of what he had taught to you about how it works, this feels similar to, but you never dedicated yourself enough to learning it. So you don't have the capacity to figure out what this says, per se, to unencode it. But you can very well tell that it is encoded in likely Thieves' Cant.
Fuck. Okay.
Yeah. So like you're reading it and it's in Common and it says stuff and it almost seems like like a grocery list in some places and like a weird diary in others, but you can tell because of that there's something more here. There's a hidden message. So
I'm gonna pocket that.
Okay.
The mask that's on the table. What is that?
It seems like it's a half finished like piece that someone was working on. I don't project, I guess, maybe the term, but he's in the process of creating that mask, it seems. And I need you to just quickly do me a perception roll. Yeah. So as you're kind of looking at these pages and you turn to look at the mask, out of the corner of your eye, you see movement on the bed.
Am I able to move?
You're able to move still, yeah.
Am I still stealthed?
Not anymore because you were searching through the papers.
Okay. I'm going to walk up to the cat and hit it over the head with my fucking stick with non-lethal damage. Try to knock it out.
As you go to move towards the cat, as you turn to the left to go to do so, you would realize the cat's part of the map, but I still intended for it to be a thing, but I'm not going to block it out or anything. The cat is actually walking towards the door, or I should say running towards the door. I will need you to make me a dexterity saving throw if you wish to try and stop the cat.
25.
Yep, you're rolling very good. So you're not able to necessarily swing at the cat outright because this happens so quick that you just kind of respond and jump towards it. But you grab the cat's tail, and the cat screams out, but because it's in the silent circle, it makes no noise, and you're able to get your hands on the cat. Ella, is that a sock? Did you just bring a sock downstairs?
I don't want to kill it.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Stop me, father.
I feel like Mala would kill it, but at the same point,
I've given you the quandrum, the one quandrum that is the Harrison versus Mallow quandrum. If it was a person, it would be dead. Yeah, if it was a person, that thing would have been dead the moment you were in the fucking tent.
Oh, I know.
It's because it was a cat, and I knew what I was doing to you.
Do I know whose tent this is?
Oh god. You're not sure per se. I'll let you do this. If you want to roll a history check, you might be able to determine by memory of the two people that you saw which one is more likely this tent belongs to. History or perception, I guess. I'll let you choose. Because theoretically, either would technically work.
No.
Yeah, you have no idea.
I just want to knock it out. I'm not gonna kill it.
Go ahead and give it a shot. Non-lethal.
I don't want to choke it out too.
Yeah, non-lethal swing. That's right.
All right.
You run it unarmed. You're gonna hit it with your staff.
I'll just state that I have like my little like I've like broken it in half, because it's my just like my separation one because I got it back from her, and I'm gonna boink it on the head.
Yep, definitely hit it.
Not repeating this 14 times.
It's non-lethal. I'm aware. Yeah, still gotta roll the damage.
8 damage.
So you bonk it on the head, but it does not fall unconscious immediately.
Now I'm gonna bonk it again.
Go for it. Yep, still hits.
Again, non-lethal.
Yep. You bonk it twice, and it's still not unconscious. It is opening its mouth though and meowing quite fiercely. You can tell by visual, not necessarily that you can hear it.
What we
How
don't realize
much
is you
fucking
found
health-
your sibling.
How much fucking health does a cat have?
Normal
wait,
cat's
it's-
not too much.
Oh my god, it is your sibling.
Wouldn't that be funny? No, I will straight up say that Mallow is not aware of any siblings that can turn into animals.
Or any siblings.
What will you do?
How big is this cat?
Normal size cat.
How big is my water skin?
Normal size water skin. Not big enough to drown the cat.
No.
Stuff the cat in the water skin was what he's thinking.
I don't think a water skin has a big enough mouth for that.
I
I'm
can
gonna
just
waterboard
imagine-
this fucking cat and learn its
I
secrets.
can just imagine him holding the cat down by the throat like, listen here, you little shit.
Yeah. Literally puts a cloth over its mouth, starts waterboarding the cat. I want answers! Give me answers! Doesn't realize silence is still on.
You got this. Whatever you're going to do, it's going to work.
Well, so for this turn, you're only down to a bonus action. Unless you want
Which
to...
means I can still hit it. I'm gonna fucking sock it in the head again.
Okay.
I'm gonna fucking flurry of blows. I'm gonna pop a key point, flurry of blows it.
Okay.
Stunning strike the cat. Stop it.
That's another 10 damage.
Okay. Let me see.
A non-lethal.
We're doing 8, 16, 20... Okay. Still... The cat seems very dizzy. It's no longer meowing, but it is still very much conscious.
And the second flurry of blows.
Yep.
23.
At this one, no matter what you hit it with, pretty much will be unconscious. I'm pretty sure that with just your plus alone, you get to pass 30.
Oh my god.
It's a shapeshifter. It has to be.
It's not a shapeshifter. No, there's something else here. But the cat is now unconscious.
It's a familiar.
Yeah, that's option B. I was hoping it'd be a shapeshifter, though. It'd be fun
I
as
place
fuck.
it back in the bed, laying down as it was.
His belly up like that picture. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So it's belly up and it has like 3-4 lumps on its head.
Like cartoon ones.
You know how it
Yeah,
is spread eagle,
exactly.
like,
Big one.
ah,
They just keep going up it.
There's literal like birds flying in circles around its head. You know, cartoon style. Yeah.
There's no chest. There's another cat under the fucking table.
Ignore that.
Okay. Can I see if there's anywhere that things would be hidden in any way, shape, or form?
Sure. Perception roll. You think maybe under the bed? It's probably the only hiding place that you can see.
I'm gonna check under the bed then.
Alrighty. Give me an investigation roll.
Oh, this was insight. Nope, I don't see shit.
Yeah, so you start searching through the, you pick up the pillows, you start looking under the covers and stuff, but you don't really find anything of value.
Okay, I'm gonna go to leave and stealth again. Just go to the last tent.
Okay.
I hate my life. I had to be a black cat too, god damn it. If it was orange, all of my pent up aggression towards Kate's
Orange
cat
cats.
would have come out.
Oof.
Fuck you, Pippin!
Is that
Yeah.
the one that claws people when it tries to get on them?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. That was a very nice cat, except for when it tried to get onto my leg.
Except for when I tried to murder you.
Well, man, maybe that was the gray one. The gray one's super nice, but is fucking likes to use its claws. Orange
The-
one doesn't like to come near
Yeah,
you.
no, it was the gray one. She just, put her paws on my leg, dug in, and then used me to climb up.
Yeah.
Alright, so you can put yourself, or you can hold off on putting yourself, I should say, low if you want, but I will be rolling perception checks for them.
What the fuck?
You saw them all go into that tent. I was surprised you fucking.
Oh, I forgot about that.
I couldn't yell at you from all the way up there.
I don't go into this tent. I open it and just go fucking nope.
Oh, God.
Is that a box of carrots?
It is a box of carrots. There's
Maybe
also
she's still have money.
a box of tomatoes, what looks like either limes or peppers, apples, sausages, a lot of bread, and something of the Irish heritage that I cannot identify.
What's she got next to her bed there? I mean, it might be a mirror, might be something else. You know what I'm saying?
Alright, settle down there. Settle down there, like.
Hey, it can still be a mirror. It still has a handle.
I don't know, I'm zooming in, I don't see a switch.
No, she's a caster. That's what she's got the wand for.
Oh shit. Rick, we're off course here. We're off course,
That's
Rick.
okay. No, you're perfectly on course. You guys are enjoying yourselves. That's all that matters.
Are the tents like?
They're not to scale. Come on, you know that.
No. Are the tents like all around dug in, or would I be able to like slither up into the tent? I guess no. They're all standing there. Yeah, fuck that. I ain't going in there. Fuck that.
Let's see if
So
they
you
see
think,
you.
so you're stealthing, you kind of start walking close, kind of give yourself a little peek through the tent flaps, which are mostly closed. I mean, they're trying to keep the cold out. And you see the three of them inside, so you just decide to head off. Is essentially what you're saying?
Yeah, and I'm gonna go back to the fire. And are we finding these for the leader?
It's the leader and three others in the village are all missing items.
I'm gonna go back to
So
the
I'll put you
leader.
back on the village, okay.
And were these outsiders just random ones that had come?
You can ask. They didn't really explain that to you.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna come back up and I'm gonna toss the book and the dagger, like safely, not like throwing it at him, but like tossing the book and the dagger at him. And I'm just gonna I'm gonna tell him, found that in one, found the dagger in one, found the book in the other. Had to beat the shit out of a cat that took way too many hits. So I don't know what the fuck is going on there. And the rest of them are all standing in one tent. So either the rest of the stuff's there or they hid it in one of y'all's. But I don't know what the fuck is going on with them, but they're the ones that took your shit.
Kara, I need a perception check.
Okay.
Thank you.
Also, that book is coded. So they're keeping
Okay,
secrets from
hold on.
someone.
You come over.
20.
Okay, you've come doing lots fast talk. Okay, what is you claim? You went and searched tents from my guests in south without asking, and now are
Perform animal
trying to
abuse.
claim that you have found this
You
there.
told us, oh, no. You told us to go find your items.
I have told you
Correct.
that you could attempt to do so. Yes, but
So that's what
you
we
have
did.
suddenly come from out of nowhere without ever saying what you are going to even be attempting to find. I know not who you are because you weren't even involving self in show last night, and now you come up and claim that what? This dagger is something that you have found? How I not know that you have not possessed whole time and are not trying to claim that my guests have somehow taken from me when they have not done anything of sort yet? I know not you, and you have not claimed anything yet as to help us. So explain to me
Carol,
who
what-
exactly you are and why exactly it is you help.
I look
Kara
at Mason and Kara, and I kind of look at them and just go, explain to them how we know that I didn't take them before.
There aren't enough dead people.
Kara, you see someone, just so you know. No one
I
else
see
does.
someone?
You do.
Who do
no
I
one
see?
else does. Look around, you'll see them eventually.
Okay.
Michael
Yeah.
Jackson.
Kara would look at the knife and look to the one who said they were missing their antique knife. It's like, is this yours?
Yes, his knife. His one was missing.
So this is your knife?
His one was looking for, yes.
Okay. Kara would look up to Petya and go, his methods aside, this is what he does. He's very good at it. He found those items. If he wanted to take it, he wouldn't have tried to hide.
I feel exact opposite though. That is argument, right? Why hide when walking way to find items if not for produce items to claim lie?
He had a rough childhood. That's just how he was raised.
But he not need to sneak away from me, or anyone else here. We want missing
Oh.
items.
He didn't sneak away from all of us. I
He
saw where he
did.
went.
Oh, well, okay, but you may have seen where he went, but none rest know. In fact, like I said, I know not even who he is. I assume
is
he is with
Mallow.
you, but he's not one who was with us at party last night.
That is Mallow. He's had a rough life. He's trying to break away from the constraint of his father and is learning to socialize better with others.
So then he claimed what? That his notebook is somehow lie notebook?
It's coded, and Kara will pick up the book and, like, you couldn't read it?
I cannot read, no.
No, she was looking at Mallow, and you couldn't read it?
No, I didn't pay attention in Thieves' Cant class.
She'll look over to Magnus. Can you read it?
If he said thieves' cant, then yes, of course. This is like literally
I
the
guess
first
what
thing that you're
Tiefling-
supposed to learn if you're of my disposition.
They also
And-
had maps inside.
Of course
Well-
they have maps inside. They be following us in mapping area. I've not had problem with this.
I'm just
Um,
making sure that you know that they've been tracking everything and where you go for all of your supplies and everything.
It's no
Uh,
problem. If they wish to take
collectively-
supplies, it simply makes harder for us to leave. It's better challenge.
Collectively, Leif, Mace, and Mallow. What's your passives at? Your perception-wise?
They're not
Oh,
high enough to
shit.
even remotely start the roll on that. They have no idea.
My passive
No.
perception
That
is 11.
it's a question more for if I said something quietly, not if they found the item or the thing.
Yeah,
in
I think I
question.
still stick with my statement. I think the
Okay.
highest passive outside of yours is 13.
Yep.
Okay. Kara would, while she's holding the book over for Magnus to read, use it to block her and just whisper to Leif, we have someone watching from behind the tent to the south of us.
So if you can't quite determine where it is she's talking about, but you definitely hear her say that.
Do you want me to go bring them here?
Keep an eye on him. And, holding the book up to Magnus. What does
he
it say?
he takes it from you and just starts leafing through.
Well, you're definitely right. There is messages here, multiple. Actually, I don't.
His face just kind of grows dark,
Petya, we need to talk. Not with them.
and he actually just kind of brushes past you, Kara. And it's very interesting because the Goliaths, you can tell, are kind of upset by the fact that he is so nonchalantly suddenly ignoring them. But he grabs Petch's arm, basically his forearm, since the only thing he can
Before
reach.
he leaves,
Mhm.
I look at him and I say, would this have something to do with a cat that took way too many hits?
I know nothing about a cat, but it may be involved anyway. We will let you know in a moment.
And they're just
Kara
going to
would-
kind of disappear into this tent for a second.
Kara would
there.
take the knife and be like, this was yours, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, shoot, yeah, you can go hand it back to the Goliath and just...
He's many things, but where is others? I feel kind
Well-
of bad if I'm only one. I will throw out, so that is not to leave out others.
You hold on to that. We just haven't found the other items yet.
Would I have? So there was the fully armored guy standing inside of the tent. Was he armored before?
Yes.
Okay.
Kara would watch as the other one retreats and just, well, that one went back to the tent to report on this. They probably know that the dagger and the book are missing, so get ready for the shit hit the fan, baby.
Kara, give me one more perception roll, please.
You just see me put my staff back together, pull my mask on.
15.
Leif just grips his sword just a little bit harder than he already was.
So eventually Petcha and Magnus are actually the first to re-emerge. They walk out, and Petcha just kind of points Magnus back to the spot he was in. And he says,
Alright. At this point, need you to find other items taken. Need find better reason to get rid of them than this. But need get
They
rid
already
of them.
stole something from them, so then why don't we just take them out?
have no
I already
capacity
stole
to
from you.
believe your words. We'll need more proof than just this. You don't understand. They have lived with us for a while now. He's akin to being honorary Goliath. Kind of like him. Points at Mace.
I'm not
I look at
convinced how he knew
everybody.
that.
I look at the rest of the rest of the group. So can we go kill these guys now and get this over with?
It would be about now that the others actually suddenly seem to be headed your way. They're not entirely trying to hide, so they just are kind of sauntering up. This Goliath will move out of the way as they just kind of stand over here and just... Sir Petra, I believe we have a problem.
Yes, Angie, what is issue?
We have found that, I believe, one of these guests of yours has killed my dear Squall's beloved pet. And at this point, the one behind her steps forward and holds up the dead body of a cat, a black cat, that clearly has had its throat slit. And he tosses it at Mallow's feet, and he stares at you with disdain, steps back, and the girl says...
I pull out all 73 of my daggers and go, there is no blood on anything. I did not kill your cat.
As if blood is not easy enough to wipe away. History has proven that time and time again. Petra, I know that it is maybe forward of me,
Hold on a second. Is the Cone of Truth still active?
No.
but I request that you do something. These men, at least that one, now that he seems to have stepped forward, they deserve punishment. Mr. Snuggles was one of my favorite little things out here in the wastes. And this is an affront to not only myself, but my caretakers as well. Petra just kind of...
You will see, Masked Man. This is issue have. Girl has been here a long time. You have not been here a long time.
Because they're...
However, she's equally making a proofless accusation.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, is it so proofless? Because the journal that was on my desk is missing now, and the one that is in Mr. Ruslan's hand seems all too familiar. And Petra kind of holds up the journal.
Oh yes, he did indeed bring.
And he will throw it over to the... It's actually a woman, just to specify. And she grabs it up off the ground.
He did bring, but I know not why it seems so important. It's just what, journal at the end of the day?
It is
Well-
personal thoughts.
If Mallow said he didn't kill your cat, he didn't kill your cat. If he did, we'd have known about it.
I would
The whole
beg
town would have
to
known about
Did
it.
it, does it... Hold on, wait. Does it still have its eyes and its tongue?
The corpse is there for you to examine, but I'm not sure why that matters.
It's very important.
Oh, it matters.
I want to look at it and see if it still has its eyes and its tongue.
It does, yeah.
Then I definitely didn't kill it, because every corpse that I've ever killed, I take the eyes and the tongue.
I'm not sure that's the case. You fought that giant and the mammoth, and you didn't do that for either of them.
I took their tusks.
Yeah,
I took
actually,
something
I
from
kind of
them.
remember that too, because you fought those two Valkyrie ladies and you just kicked their bodies off a cliff.
No, that was me, and they don't stay corporeal long enough for them to be taken as prizes.
Is that true? Because your sister Ear left her body behind too, and I don't know, no one really said that they weren't gonna disappear or anything.
No one asked.
Sure, but, I mean, they looked like bodies. Not like any
Whose
other.
side are you on?
I'm just confused by the statement, that's all. It's not what I've seen.
Well, there's an easier way to settle this. Our compatriot knows the zone of truth. Put that down. It'll tell the truth.
All right.
I'm going to willingly fail
I mean,
a
sure.
check.
We'll just do that again. There goes my second.
This is like,
just
yay!
clarification, because I'm kind of curious. What level is the spell slot on that? Second level?
Second level.
Interesting. Okay.
Kara will look at Mallow. Did you kill the cat?
Nope.
Kara will look to the one who threw the cat's corpse at him. Did you kill the cat?
So, and the interesting thing, Mace, is you find as Mallow goes to answer this question, the magic that you cast on him never takes hold. Kara, you need to do me a perception check.
Another one? Okay. Well,
You're
Seeing
the
as I
only
don't
one who has
co-
a high enough passive that might see something. Is the only reason.
18.
That's not going to be enough in this instant. Actually, you know what? I should be fair. Instead of just setting a head DC, let me actually give a good DC, a real DC. That would be this. So that's actually more fair to you, I think. You what? 18? Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. So you do not quite notice. Literally was a one-off. Okay. But yeah, in
Would
this
Mace
instance,
but Mace would notice his magic not taking hold.
he
Yes.
would. That is correct. That's why I'm telling him.
Okay.
So, I guess I have to ask: is the magic still active but not taking hold, or?
If the spell was canceled, he'd know, yeah.
Because I also would feel it not take hold on me.
You actually don't know. The only one who does is Mace, at least in terms of how I'm reading Zone of Truth. The creature that enters the area has to make a save but doesn't know about it. It just can't lie. You would know you can't lie, I guess, once you go to try and tell a lie. And can't,
Affected
but...
creature is aware
Where-
of
Oh,
the
does it say
spell
that? I just missed it somewhere in there? Okay.
And
and
can
can thus avoid answering questions to which it would normally respond with a lie.
Oh, okay. Actually, I think
Such a
that's kind of the
creature
same
can
as
be
what I was viewing it.
evasive
Just,
in this
yeah.
answer as
That's-
long as it remains within the boundary of truth.
Yeah, that's still the way I was viewing it. I just didn't realize it said it all out. Okay, yeah. So my intention was like you would know that you can't lie from being in it, like once you try and tell a lie, but you don't necessarily know magic has taken hold until you try and lie. Is the way
Yeah,
that I feel
the
it is.
first attempt of saying something.
Right. It
you
catches
have
you
to
up, and then you realize.
verbal-
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, you would if you go to try and lie, you would know, but otherwise, like the magic not taking hold, you wouldn't feel like you wouldn't know. So
I mean, I feel like an affected creature is aware of the spell.
but what I'm saying is the spell never took hold of you. So as far as you're aware, it either like you're not aware of whether it worked or not. So as far as you know, it probably did because it's just you don't necessarily know. But in this instance, Mace specifically will know it did not take hold. In
Okay.
fact, though, it specifically did not take hold on Mallow. If you were trying to once again do it everyone in range, it is only him
Yes.
that it does not affect.
Specifically, okay.
Well, it's a 15-foot radius, or 15-foot radius.
He has an aura up. You're definitely in the aura. It's not that big a deal. It's
Okay,
it's
well,
not
Alright.
related to the aura or the radius of
If
it. I
it's
should say.
specific to Mallow, then they won't mind answering.
So who are you asking?
All three of them. Do you know? No, actually, the question would be, did you have anything to do with the death of the cat?
And you're just saying it in their general direction.
Well, I'm specifically asking them.
Yeah. So I guess the woman's still kind of the most forward, and she just. I know nothing about it. My companions have not said anything about it outside of it was him over there, and she points to the mask. Who did it? And
Lady,
as
I
far as you
will
can
ask
tell,
specifically.
she has failed the saving throw, so
Mhm.
she seems to be telling you whatever she believes to be the truth.
Right. Then I will ask the other two. Did any of you two cause harm to this cat today enough to cause it to lose its life?
All right. So the one in the armor just goes, "Ugh," and you can tell that they have passed the saving throw, and then the other one says, "Why would I harm my own pet? You are absurd, sir." And you can
It's a
tell
yes or no question.
you can tell that they have also passed the saving throw.
Okay, well, at this point, there's no point in continuing that. What to do?
2 passes and a failure.
Kill them all.
The Mallow solution.
Murder them.
Well,
Why would one of you have the dagger that belongs to that individual?
the thing is, I can keep asking and keep waiting because it's not a
Oh.
one-time off.
You can
Well,
try.
but the thing is too, you also know that your magic didn't take hold on
Well, it's
me.
actually it's the first time it starts its turn in that area, right? So
Yeah.
does it? It's not the first time anymore unless they leave and re-enter it. I guess you could walk
Nope.
away and walk back.
I mean, yeah, but either way, it's every 6 seconds. So
Oh, actually, though, this doesn't carry with you.
No, it's a zone of truth. You put the sphere down centered on a point.
For the
If you're in the zone while the spell is
Oh,
active,
you're right.
you
I
are
wasn't reading
compelled
the
to tell
second
the
half.
truth.
Yeah, I wasn't reading the second half of the sentence, is why. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Very good. Yeah, you can. Totally yours.
Why Why would that ancestral dagger that belongs to that individual be in your possession?
I know not of it being in our possession at all to begin with, so I know not what you claim. From what I
So
can see,
what I'm
the
hearing
only
is that she has
person's
minions
possession it
do
has been
all of her
within
work.
is the masked one. And Claw, you would tell that again. She has failed your
He
saving throw.
thinks it's the truth.
Yeah. I will roll for the other two quickly. Just to know.
Okay, how about the non-verbal one?
I mean, are you asking if he's affected by it or not? Because realistically, I'm not
I
gonna
mean,
lie.
these
That character, at the end of the day, all they can do is go, ugh! So
these questions are towards basically the trio. So they are being each asked individually. I
I'm
don't wanna
aware.
have to
But
keep
what I'm
repeating.
saying is at least in that one character's like, that's all they can do
Immune,
to answer
essentially.
is they'll just keep going. Ugh! All you'll
It's
know is
immune.
whether they think they're telling the truth or not. Which I will tell you in this instance, that person did once again save, so you can't tell. But
Right,
I
okay.
mean, it's
We need another strategy, boys.
well, I mean, the last one just simply doesn't say anything. She simply stands there, kind of a little bit behind her master's shoulder. I guess technically, with that, you know if it fails or saves. Yeah,
Honestly,
so it failed
out
at
of
this point,
character,
but it
Kara,
still
you
doesn't matter as
should
much.
just ask Magnus what the journal says,
I
and
mean,
we can at
I-
least get some insight into it.
Kara would look to Magnus then and be like, "Hey Magnus, what was in the journal?"
He side eyes you and just shushes you, or like puts his finger to his lips, and then kind of glances at the three. He seems to not
It's
want
a
them to know
Petra
that. He seems to
fanfic.
not want them to know that he was able to read it.
We're doing this to help you.
I understand that, but honestly, the help is not as necessary as you think.
Then kill them.
It's this whole thing. Petra, he knows what's happened. The only reason he's doing this is to let you prove yourselves to the Goliaths.
Fucking
Pomp and circumstance for everything. I swear to God, can't we ever just get a straight answer for once?
It's up to you to give. In terms of the journal, just know this. It is not good for Petra or his people. That's all that matters.
okay.
I'm
So,
waiting for the soup is
seeing
bad.
as this spell,
Oh, also, actually, to be fair, Mace, you would be able to tell that he failed the saving throw.
yeah, that's fine.
Not that it would really. I don't think you even heard him necessarily talking, but as he's talking, you're just like, oh, he's telling the truth.
Yeah.
Good.
So I'll look at the lady again and ask her, are your intentions for following the Goliaths the ones you stated when you first came here?
I intend to study them, of course.
Oh, great. Another one that wants to study people.
There is much we can learn from them.
Oh, dear God. The last one that said this tried to kill me. And I look at the leader, just letting you know.
Well, I'm
That's-
not going to lie.
I wasn't talking to
Considering
you,
all
bitch.
that has occurred, I kind of wish to kill you too.
She's at least equally as violent. That's a start. What are you hiding from the Goliaths?
It is an interesting turn of phrase, hiding. I have told them everything that they have asked.
Yes.
What are you not telling the Goliaths that could harm them?
There is much that could harm them. For instance, the fact that there is some sort of new wave church sweeping the nation. For some reason, many who join it seem crazed to others once they start.
Are you a member of this church?
Oh no, not at all.
Are you the
I
leader
think
of this church?
I might be a member of said church. Also, I would like to clarify, it is not members that are crazy, it is only a single person whose reputation far outperceives... You know what? The fact that we are in the Icewind Dale and somehow this is still a misconception really bothers me.
I look at him. I already knew you were crazy from your music. I'm not worried about you at all.
To be fair, I'm not the one who plays. I've just accepted his role in my life.
Yeah, that's me. I'm the one who plays the music.
Still, his whole ordeal. He's just...
I'm sorry that you apparently can't have fun. That's your problem.
Yes.
Oklahoma, bitch.
I failed the saving throw. Yes.
Can I perception check the weapons these individuals have and see if any of them look
Certainly
like
try.
they've drawn blood?
Yeah, you can certainly try, of course.
I also would like to do the same.
So it's an 18, Chris? Is that what I'm... Yeah.
No, mine's
I was gonna
a
say, because I feel like that was
25.
from before. Okay. Yeah, so with a 25, you can definitely see this. You can't see any sort of weapons that seem to have blood on them, because all the weapons are in their sheaths. But as the robed person to the south of the noble girl is kind of talking and gesticulating, you do notice that there is a kind of smaller sheath on the inside of their robes that is missing a dagger.
I'm going to cast.
You would not see this, Mallow. It's only Kara
Okay,
who would
no,
notice
no,
that.
no, no, that's fine. I want to cast minor illusion behind to right next to this guy, like right here, in a whisper in her voice. I want to say, "Kill them now." Towards both of them, so they would both hear it,
I'm just doing
obviously.
perception rolls. So you would see the one in the robes seems a little startled for half a second, but the one in armor seems to kind of nudge them in the back and shake their head and look towards the group. You can't see under their helmet, but the one in the robes kind of glances back with a scowl.
I'm looking through this real quick.
Sir Pecha, I do implore you at this point to make a choice. They have claimed something against our honor, and as I have told you, I know nothing of what has occurred. And I believe that it is possible that perhaps they are trying to frame us. So if you would, please, do something.
Well, at this point, it's up to you all. Have anything left to say for yourself?
Kara will look to the robed one. You're missing a blade.
Kind of pats himself down and just... She says...
It's up your sleeve.
That's fine. They sort of tumble out from time to time. I'm sure it's simply back in one of our tents.
No warrior would let their blades fall out.
Good thing.
No
Why don't-
true
No
warrior, that is.
then.
Oh, as a show of good faith, why don't I help you find it?
Feel free. The tents are that direction.
Oh, I mean, why doesn't one of you come with me? I don't want to be accused of stealing anything.
At this point, I think it's best if perhaps not one of us, but one of the Goliaths go.
Suit
And
yourself.
at this point, Pecha kind of shrugs at that, and he points. And one of the Goliaths does follow you, Kara. One of the women just starts kind of walking off with you. Which tent do you wish to go to?
Well, I mean, I know the big one was the one with everything in it, and I couldn't track Mallow after he went down that far. So I'm gonna flip a coin here. One is the top tent, two is the bottom tent. Go in the top tent first.
Okay.
I rolled a 27. Is anything out of the ordinary in here?
In terms of perception?
Mhm.
Nope. This tent seems pretty normal. In fact, you would kind of with that perception be able to tell pretty readily that almost everything seems undisturbed except for this chest is open, and the bed looks like the sheets are kind of tousled, as if someone had slept in it and not made it.
Just casual glance around. I'm pretty sure I would notice foot pathings or anything.
I mean, it would be I guess that's fair. You would, I guess, a good perception check would be able to tell at this point. Like you'd probably see Mallow's footsteps walking over to the desk and the chests. There'd be fresh-looking footsteps that are going those directions. You don't necessarily know they're Mallow's, to be fair.
Do I smell the coppery iron scent of blood?
Nope, nothing around here. Nothing, not in that regard.
Look under the table. I guess I would have to roll investigation just to check things as I'm going here. So a 19 flat, not +3.
Yeah, I mean, you start looking for. We'll say the investigation is specifically to find a knife, and nothing here that seems to fit the bill for what you would think would match that sheath. You would notice that there is a weapon rack to the south of the bed, and it does have kind of knives and stuff on it, but they're much larger bladed. They're not anything that would fit in the tiny sheath that you saw.
Doesn't look like there's anything in here. I'd go to the other tent then.
Okay.
Now I'm assuming there'd be cat viscera in here.
There's blood. The blood is actually kind of centered or not centered, but is off to the side, almost near the flap, but not quite outside of it. But that's about it. It's just some blood.
20.
Okay.
I feel like I would recognize Mallow's handiwork in here.
Yeah, again, you definitely see the footprints of where he went and what he looked at. You see the blood, and you can tell that it is most likely from the cat, just judging by the amount. Can't tell, though, exactly what happened to it, per se. The interesting thing is the only set of footprints that you actually do relatively see is the one set that seems fresh. Again, you don't necessarily know that it is Mallow's for sure, but it is the freshest set of footprints in here. It goes to the table, to the bed, back to the door. Seems to lunge out towards the door after a certain point.
Oh, roll one more investigation and
Okay.
15.
So with a... Oh, is it not 18 because of the...
No, that's I'm
it's
not
just on.
proficient with the skill, so
Gotcha.
I just didn't turn it off.
No worries. Okay. So the 15...
Do I see what other looking cat thing?
Yeah,
is over
like I
here?
said, ignore that. That's not actually there. The only one I
Oh, okay.
intended to be there was the one on the bed. So you're looking around the room with a 15, and you're looking for anything that could, be the dagger. So you kind of get on your hands and knees, and you look kind of low. And as you're on the ground, you realize that this red carpet, despite its dilapidation, there's a kind of an odd-looking bump towards one of the corners. And you're like, that's not from it being decayed. If anything, decay would make it go, divot down, not a bump up. So you go and you flip the corner, and you manage to find a comb. Has kind of a bone structure, and there is some
That other
carvings.
Goliath walked in with me, right?
She did. I just forgot to put her down.
Kara would look to the Goliath and go, "I found your missing comb."
Yes, seems like I do not know he's necessarily enough foolproof, but I definitely for sure see that you did not put there. The only issue is, from what they claiming, they might say that the masked friend put in place so that they could, claim was them.
This is a fair statement, but why would he kill the cat if he did that?
Well, hold on. The other
He
thing
would kill
too is
cat
when
in order to what? Make sure that it was not seen? Was not make noise, I should say?
when asked about the items before under the other cone of truth, I stated that I don't know anything about them at all.
Correct. You're not there to argue that, though.
No, I know. I'm making sure.
I know.
Okay.
You jumping the gun on me. I was getting to that point.
Okay.
You were there when my friend cast that magic previously that made us tell the truth.
I know not what magic is done. I simply saw a man wave hands.
Okay, I can't refute that, but on my honor, I can tell you that he didn't lie about not knowing where any of these items were, but
We
we've
won't
so far
lie. I
found...
believe. Saw where the comb was. But, let's put it this way. Unless find Gem of Pitya and can then say, well, either way I in control, or I give back to you and you in control, then it's going to be difficult to be able to claim freedom.
Okay. Kara will pick up the comb. Can I hand this to you and just
Oh
say
yes, yes, we'll tell where found. We'll be how to say unbiased.
well, we have one more tent to check, and would head towards that.
Okie doke.
And I need to hope that my investigation luck holds, because this is the most high investigation rolls I've ever done.
Yeah, doing good.
But now that I've said that, it's gonna fuck up.
We'll see.
So, here's the perception check, a 26.
So, as you walk in, the first thing that catches your eye is, of course, all the papers splayed across the desk. So you walk up to it and you just kind of start looking through them, at a glance, and you would notice that they actually look a lot like war maps. And not only do they look like war maps, they look like war maps that kind of show what you would assume is a kind of battle plan for subjugating the Icewind Dale. A lot of the locations on... Well, actually, he didn't bring it, so never mind. That's about all that you see.
Would any of these be areas that I've already traveled through?
Yes, you recognize almost... So, it's essentially... like, one of the maps is a map of the Icewind Dale up close, and you see, what you would be believed to be kind of notes and, like, massively marked zones of, like, woods over here good for resources, area over here devoid of worthwhile, what's the term I'm looking for? Invasion. No food resources. Like, it's essentially plans of, like, if someone were to try and conquer the Icewind Dale with armies, the places that they would need to station troops and build bases and things like that in order to take over the natural resources to be able to continue to supply those troops. You would also see kind of maps from other sections of the Sword Coast. This is where you would kind of fall off in terms of your own knowledge. But it looks like what you would believe to be some sort of maps showing like where troops would be moving from the south if they were to come to the north in whatever attempt this is that is planned.
My luck held. 19 investigation.
Sure. So as you're looking through these, you kind of are shuffling things around on the desk, and you end up sitting in the chair and just becoming very absorbed in what's happening here in these documents. And as you're doing so, you almost absent-mindedly reach for a drawer to like grab a pen to make notes. And as you slide the drawer open, you notice that right inside is a necklace with a tooth on it. And then as you realize, oh shit, she kept this here, you start sliding open the other drawers, and none of them seem to hold anything of value. But one of them does seem to not be as deep as the other drawers are. Like you go to pull it all the way out, and it doesn't come out the last couple inches. So you start looking around, and I'm just going to carry over the same investigation roll, but you do eventually find like this little latch on the other side, underside of the desk. And as you hit it and start to pull on that same drawer, it comes out another couple inches. And in this last hidden compartment, you find a necklace with a tarnished sapphire gem.
Kara would pull out the 2 necklaces and just like, this was behind a hidden compartment. This what we're looking for?
Oh, that is certainly what looking for. Would also tell is very interesting, because if only brought other necklace, could still very much be claimed that it was planted, but to be found in hidden compartment, well, that's very difficult, right? Can't really be placed there by other unless other knows about, yes?
And I can assure you, we've never met those people before today.
And can assure you we'll vouch for the fact that you found. So, if wish to return and talk, we can do so.
Let's.
Okay.
So you guys make it, you can go ahead and proceed from the tent and head your way back up.
Kara would walk back with the 2 necklaces in hand and just walk up to Petya. This was in her drawer.
Yes, can confirm was found in drawer, and not only in drawer, but in hidden compartment.
And at this point, as you guys look over, the one that you actually see kind of sweating is the one in the robes, more so than anyone else. And the blonde lady turns to her and just,
what is it you were trying to do exactly? Because, from what you told me, you had nothing to do with this. My lady, it's not what it seems.
And she looks out at everyone, and she looks over specifically at Petya with just fear in her eyes.
I swear, it was on her orders. She's lying.
And Mace, is your cone still active?
Yes.
Yep.
So let me do the roll just to see. I mean, I will tell you straight up, she's of course telling the truth, but let's see if Mace can tell that or not. Yeah, she rolled an 8.
Just choose to fail.
She rolled an 8, so I'm gonna leave it a chance. But yeah, she definitely failed. So Mace, you'd be able to tell that she is indeed telling the truth.
Which I will voice out.
Petya doesn't seem to care. He just steps past Mallow, gets close, and as he does so, a fireball starts to kind of glimmer in his hand. Much like when you first met him. This person tries to back away, eventually turns to start running. And in this instance, it's a little different from the last time you saw it.
You're using the beefed up version of that one?
Yes, I am. Because, fuck it, might as well.
He's getting Escanored.
Sort of, right?
Oh, he's getting Petya.
Yeah. So as they go to run, this orb of sun in Petya's hand just kind of arcs in the air. Almost with this general casualness to it. Like all of you are just watching as it just kind of floats along and drops right behind this fleeing person, and then it blooms into a 20-foot radius sphere of bright light. And when it comes back, the person here is just a corpse. They are just on the ground. Maybe not corpse is the right term, but they are bleeding heavily on their knees, unable to run further, and you would very much be able to tell in far too much pain to actually be some sort of a meaningful combatant. And Petya just walks up, and he's going to grab that person by the back of their robes, and just starts dragging them back. And he deposits them right next to Angie, and just... Angie, there is much we will need to talk about. The fact that you have stolen gem is only one thing. But there is also the book that was found. At this point, I will tell you, you will need to leave village at minimum, but it is far likely that you will not leave village at all. And you all just watch as this fear enters her eyes. And the other guard tries to step forward, but Petra just, at this point, basically backhands that guard. And while it doesn't kill them or anything like that, they do get knocked to the ground next to Angie, just kind of stunned by the strength of this man in front of them, as he just glares down with the coldest eyes that you've seen yet, and just, Angie, I gave you a chance because you said you love me, but at this point, it is clear that never case. Pecha does not give second chance. And with that, I'm going to say that we will probably start to wrap up here for the night. If anyone has any questions they want to ask, that's totally fine, but we're not really going to continue much more outside of the village here and the consequences of what has happened.
Walks over here. What's in the book?
They intended to try and come and subjugate Pecha's people, enslave them with magic, and then use them to do their bidding in order to take over the rest of the Icewind Dale.
Oh,
I feel like that was not a good idea.
Oh no, absolutely not. Which is why no matter what choices you made, she was probably going to be killed. A message needs to be sent. Sadly.
Let Mallow get one of them.
I won't say no, but you're gonna have to ask the big man.
No! Must do self. This is honor.
Sure, and they insulted my friends.
can
I
I
want him to do it.
can I borrow the corpse then, at least while you go kill the others?
He reaches down and grabs the robed woman and just tosses her over his shoulder. And actually, not only does it not go short, it actually flies so much further than you realize that it lands like over here. And just,
Boy, well, meant to leave life for you to do what wish, but
Oh,
we
no, I
have
don't
died
need her
from blunt
alive.
trauma. So go have fun, enjoy self.
I'm going to go and cut out her eyes and her tongue.
That's what I figured.
So do you like pickle them or?
Kara will look back to Leif and Mace. Baby steps, right? Baby steps.
At least he's trying. It's not one of us.
Hey, I gotta prove people. I gotta prove people I ain't lying.
Absolutely. Well,
So that was my 4 investigation rolls for the year.
yeah, exactly. I've gotten them all out of you. It was, I feel like at least hopefully pretty fun. A nice little sidetrack from the
Absolutely.
traditional that we've had in this campaign of just straight violence. That was kind of my goal, was give it a little bit more intrigue than we've maybe had. So
No, that was really good.
actually, and I think that, just because I still have you all here for at least a short while, I'm going to give you a little bit of a heads up into what we're doing next time with this.
Mm-hmm.
So Pecha, now that this is all behind us, a quick question if I may. You ever heard of something called the Frost Jade Flower?
Oh, I know where he is. You'll need one. I can get you one. I'll get you one by 3 p.m. It's easy.
So there you go.
Oh, great.
And if anyone can name the reference, I'd be happy.
That I don't know.
Happy birthday to you.
Oh, thank you, Claw. The reference was a Big Lebowski reference.
What, you want a toe? You need a toe? I get you a toe by 3 p.m. with nail polish.
Great movie.
Are we out of a job or?
Oh God. But yeah, that's definitely it for tonight. So
Yeah, no, thanks. It was a great session, I think.
it was a lot of fun RP too. It was good chance for you guys to do some very interesting interacting. I loved the bit between Kara and Chance was so great. That was I told Chris before that was probably coming. Like there was a bit of interaction I was hoping for there, but you guys did a fantastic job of just.
I didn't expect it like that.
Right, I agree with you. I didn't think it was going to be that in depth, and then Mace as well being able to kind of step in and now be worried about it is just such a great dynamic. So I'm wondering how you guys will develop that. It'll be very fun.
So here's my question: if he'd held onto the hammer, would he have heard the
Yes,
conversation?
he absolutely would have. That's why I was, tried to be very coy about letting him make his choice as opposed to saying one way or the
Yeah,
other.
no. Mace respects Chance's privacy.
It's just great. I love it. I really do. It's so fun just to be like.
So I am now the weapon whisperer. Leif, if you need your sword to talk to someone.
Oh God. god, yeah. Someone
I saw you were talking to Chance. Anyway, you might want to talk to mine.
yeah, you're like,
Sure.
I need someone to talk to my weapon who actually can give it to me straight, not just play me a fucking song.
God.
My brain worked good sometimes. Today, not that time. I'm talking NASCAR and Dale Earnhardt. What's up?
Raise
Left-
hell, raise hell.
Actually, are you into NASCAR? Because I'll make you jealous.
No.
Oh, okay, good.
All right, well, I'll be leaving now.
Absolutely. Thanks for hanging out, Claw. Hopefully we'll catch up with you during the week.
Yeah, for sure. It was great fun.
Awesome.
I'll talk to you guys later.
Okay, bye.